This is The Gorge. This is a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a game or game-related topic. This week, we're talking about E3 2017 with our good friend Othar again.
Hi, Othar.
Hey!
Hey, Oats, are you ready to talk about some video games?
Of course. It's a lot better than talking about tabletops, like, nonstop once a week.
Are you talking?
Did you guys hear that video games happened?
Video games happened pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this last year, and we just kind of like went down to each conference, and there was a very convenient list online of every conference's announcements. So I just kind of wrote all them down in a list, and we'll just kind of go down each one in order, and we'll spend as much time as we feel like on each topic.
Sounds good.
All right. So the first one, and the one that I even forgot was happening at the time it was going on, I guess E3 announced some crap.
You mean EA?
Yeah, EA. Sorry, EA.
It's okay.
Announced some crap, and like
nobody cared.
I mean, it was a lot of sports. There were some sports that happened.
I sure watched it.
That's
about all I gotta say.
The only thing that looked appealing from EA at all was A Way Out.
I didn't even see that trailer. I don't even know what it's about. I just kind of went like, boy, that's a game, and I think it's co-op, so. It is
a linear, like, co-op puzzle game. Kind of like a more, like, violent version of Portal, I guess, where you're both trying to escape from a prison, and you have to work together to, like, you know, open grates while, you know, the other keeps a watch for guards, or to, you know, hold balance beams while the other one walks across them.
It's basically like the co-op sections in like Uncharted 3 or 4, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
It looked pretty interesting. Like, it looked like, out of all the things I saw, it looked like a video game.
Right.
Sure. There's a lot of sports, which is sports.
There was a lot of sports that are now having story modes.
Which is weird.
Like, FIFA, like we knew from last year that FIFA was going to have one, but also
like, now like Madden has one, doesn't it?
NFL 18 is going to have a story mode, which I'm just like, okay, like,
is Madden's story mode like the only way Madden's story mode could work for me is if they made it as like wrestler persona as possible. Like, Tim Tebow's cool. Actually like a villain who's like trying to hijack a volcano or something.
Can we please fight Tim Tebow JRPG style? Because that is what I am into. Where like Tim Tebow has his final form.
It'll play like a Fire Emblem where you have to recruit players from the battlefield, and you can get them to bond together if they're close by when they're in combat. And like if a player gets tackled too many times, he dies.
No, don't lose the fullback! Don't lose the fullback!
There's a weapon triangle.
Oh my god.
Oh, hold the line.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I'd play that for sure. Literally the only part that I even remotely care about in Madden is that somehow they've managed to acquire like a handful of college schools, but not all of them. I'm like, why not just, and we know they can't make NCAA, I guess it would be 18 now, because of like legal reasons with the NCAA, but like, look, just bring back college football game. I miss it so badly. You don't understand.
I really want that so bad, but I can't imagine them doing the Pac-14 at this point, because fucking, like, the Oregon Ducks and their fucking Disney, like, attachments. There's no way.
There's no way, unfortunately, so. But otherwise, I mean, like, has anybody shrugged harder than the collective, like, video game world at Anthem? I don't think anybody has ever shrugged harder at Anthem. I didn't expect anybody to be that ambivalent, but literally everybody I know is just like,
Like, the only people I've heard people talking about it at work, but like, they're the most, I mean, I hate to say this, they're total plebs. Like, when it comes to video games.
Yeah.
Like, they're the most dude bro of video game guys, where it's like, yeah, of course they would be excited about Anthem. They'd think it's the hype as shit, but it's like, it's so like, I was thinking about this. BioWare hasn't earned the right to start a new IP.
Yeah, I mean, they fucked up Mass Effect so hard.
they botched Mass Effect so hard and so soon that they can't be like, hey, we got a new one though. Like you can't.
Right. Yeah.
It was their like ace in the hole to draw Drew Karpyshyn back in. I think like that was like the only way they were able to get him back, because he's not going to work with them again for a Mass Effect game. Not after they did him dirty.
No, I don't think. I mean, like, Anthem is just produced such a huge shrug among like everybody who actually plays video games. It seems like I can't imagine. Like, everybody who I know who actually likes BioWare games, not a single one of them cares about Anthem, because it's, like, the anti-BioWare game. You know?
Yeah.
It's not Dragon Age 4, which is huge. Andromeda was a huge flop. And now they have this fucking co-op game that's basically, by its nature, has to be light on story, because it's basically like a Borderlands game. I'm sorry, like, you can't, it's just not gonna work, you know?
It's not, like, it, from what we've seen in the gameplay, like, besides the flying, which the flying looks awesome, and I wish they would rip that flying out and put it in another better game.
Right?
They should have put that in Andromeda. That would have been so dope.
Everything else about it is just like, oh, it is a shooter in an open world. We already have Horizon.
Yeah. Yeah, and Horizon did it better because Guerrilla actually knows what the fuck they're doing, so...
We already have Horizon, we already have Breath of the Wild. We're content on open world games for a long time,
yeah,
okay?
we've got plenty, okay? It feels like every goddamn game at E3 was some sort of open world exploration game that all looks like Horizon at this point, because Guerrilla didn't do it first. Like, other people have been doing the open world exploration games, but Guerrilla did it better than anybody, and it's kind of hard to, like, top it. You know, like, you see Horizon, it's so fucking good, and, like, all of the other games that are trying to do it, you're like, it's just gonna feel like a Horizon clone at this point. Like, they all want that, and I know that Anthem has been in development longer than Horizon, probably, but it just doesn't, I don't know, it's not grabbing
Here's
me.
my big issue with Anthem. It's a BioWare game. I saw no RPG elements to it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no demonstration of, like, player choice or, like, you know, dialogue options or anything like that. Like, it
just felt like an action game with nothing else to it.
It reminded me of, remember the first, like, gameplay demo we got for The Division?
Yeah.
Where it was because that was like the first game I can remember where it's like, we'll set up a fake squad, like, run.
Yeah.
Where you get, like, a bunch of, like, guys together to, like, pretend they're playing online.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that's what it reminded me of, and I was just like, I didn't care then, and I don't care now. And honestly, like, to call this the what are they calling it? The who of video games?
Dylan?
Yeah, the Bob Dylan of video games. I'm just like, no.
Yeah. Apparently they were saying that when Andromeda's development started, BioWare, this is by the way, all this is from a really bizarrely excellent Kotaku article about the implosion of BioWare and why Andromeda is the way it is. And if you have like a spare 40
Andromeda.
I know. If you have like a spare 40 minutes, just go Google that, because it really is like a genuinely good article written by a very good writer who's writing a whole book. Not to plug him, because obviously I'm not getting paid for this, but he has written a whole book about the game development process and crunch time and stuff like that, so he's very knowledgeable. And it was an incredible article, and the thing is that one of the things they mentioned was that BioWare's development time was split between Andromeda and a game they were codenaming Dylan, because they wanted it to be the Bob Dylan of video games. And it's I know, and it's clear that Anthem is Dylan.
This is not the Bob Dylan of video games. This is my uncle's cover band of video games. Like, you know the band you see at every fair that is like 3 or 4 middle-aged white guys.
The Satin Love Orchestra type thing, yeah.
They just play a lot of like
Journey.
Yeah, or like anything from like the 70s or 80s. or like Margaritaville, all those like songs, Jimmy Buffett, like that's what this game is.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, otherwise EA has just earned a big old fat shrug from me. So yeah. Next.
So there's the next one is a little bit weird because they had a lot of good things, but nothing like they had a lot to show. Not a lot of it was good. Microsoft
decided to do quantity over quality, which is fantastic because for once in their life they decided we should probably show more than 2 games, huh?
Yeah.
And not talk about our fucking hardware.
Well, but they did for a while.
Oh my god,
they did.
They announced the Xbox One box, Xbox One box, X One box.
The X-B-O-X.
We're going to piss off a lot of parents who hear, I want the Xbox One X, and they're going to be like, there's an S and there's an X. Which one does Jimmy want? Like,
Christmas is going to be a nightmare, and I feel sorry for everybody at GameStop right now. Sorry. Yeah, boy, $500 is no.
That's $100 less than I thought, but $100 more than I would ever be willing to spend.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much exactly it. I would not pay $500 just because, like, I'm so like divided because I do think that Xbox has a lot of good things going for it because Microsoft is not being as much of a snob about crossplay as Sony is. And again, Eurogamer had a few articles about that today that I think are really interesting and everybody should go read. That said, you know, like they have, you know, they're not being snobs about crossplay. They're not being snobs about mods. They're actually being pretty cool. It's just that they just don't have the lineup to justify spending that much money on a system. As cool as I think a lot of like the little indie titles and stuff that got announced looked, you know, it's still all of that does not come together and make me really care.
I just don't understand why Microsoft just doesn't work harder on making more gaming PCs, I guess. Like, pre-built stuff. Because that's really all they're doing, like, with an Xbox, if they're going to be shelling one out, like, every year at this point.
You're not wrong. They should just, like, make, like, a pre-built device that is just heavily leaning towards gaming. Like, a desktop that's just spec'd out specifically for gaming. You know, it comes pre-installed with... with
just a
Windows.
Steam box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? I mean, at this point, every exclusive, in finger quotes, was going to Windows 10 anyways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, and nothing on the I have a long list here because they did announce a ton of games, but nothing on it is like, I have to get an Xbox now.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part, is that they just really don't have anything that... As many games as they announced, and I feel like they did have more actually shown than Sony did, and good on them for it. As much as they announced, none of it really made me feel compelled to spend $500 on an Xbox One X. So I don't know, you know, and everything else that they did announce that is exclusive isn't truly an exclusive. It's either a timed exclusive or it's coming to PC as well. Yeah. And it's technically only coming to Windows 10, but that's still a PC. It's not a true exclusive. Sorry, guys. Do you even know what exclusive means?
So let's just go down the list I have here. We'll just kind of stop because there's a bunch here. Mm-hmm. So Forza is a tech demo. It's not really a video game. Like, every time I see a racing game, they're like, look at those rain effects on the window. And then I stopped caring.
Yeah, it's just a tech demo. Next.
Yeah. Metro Exodus is like...
I was surprised they were making one.
Yeah,
Looks
I mean, I wish it wasn't so pre-rendered, but...
Yeah.
Like, the settings look cool, and they confirmed that it will not be a open world game.
Yeah,
so
which is kind of neat.
That's, you know, like, something like that you would expect it to be. So, like, the fact that they're making it kind of more linear is... I'm actually, like, a little bit impressed because I'm kind of getting watered down with big open world games.
I just don't have the time to play, like, 40 open world games anymore.
At least they're worth your money, though. At least you can guarantee that.
But...
Yeah. Speaking of open world games, Assassin's Creed. This time it's in Egypt.
No one cares.
Like
No one cares.
God, I fucking
no one
hate
cares.
Ass Creed.
It's
God.
what that went on for way too long because my interest evaporated in 10 seconds.
Yeah. If we're gonna talk about like major Horizon lookalikes, boy.
Yeah, like
that's a lot of Horizon, isn't it?
I know Horizon technically ripped off Egypt for their design,
Right.
But like this one still looks a lot like Horizon's like color palette.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of obvious. They're like, boy, we really need that sweet, sweet Horizon green.
You know what though?
feel
Like if maybe you'll have to assassinate an actual mummy, and then that will make it better.
I was about to say maybe they finally
Maybe
let
you'll have to
actual
kill
supernatural
King
shit
Tut.
happen.
Yeah.
King Tut. Oh boy. All right. Next.
Next is this one actually looked pretty impressive. Deep Rock Galactic.
Oh yeah, battle dwarves.
Yeah, the Battle Dwarves,
yeah.
like
Space dwarves.
cosmic mining thing. That looked like a fun arcadey like co-op, game. That looked.
Yeah.
It was the first thing I saw at this conference that I was like, this is a unique art style that is impressive and visually entertaining and is actually fun looking.
If this came out for the PS4 and it was like $10, I'd play it with the like two of you. Like
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely
For sure.
no. Yeah.
But again, doesn't make me compelled to spend $500
Yeah,
on
no,
Xbox
absolutely
One
not.
X.
No.
Yeah.
Now the next one, but I think this next one will come out on everything as well, which is probably the fucking highlight of Microsoft's conference. Fucking Dragon Ball Fighter Z is
man.
one of the
my
best
God.
looking things I've ever seen on a video game.
I thought they couldn't top like just how good like Xenoverse looked, and then this shit came out, and I just fucking blew me out of the water.
Oh my god.
It's like absolutely jaw-dropping how good this looks.
I like how the art style is deliberately made to look like late 80s, early 90s Dragon Ball, as opposed to like the art style that kind of it eventually turned into.
Like, yeah, it doesn't look
you know?
like Super, it doesn't look like Super, it looks like Classic
look
Z.
like it doesn't look like Super, and it doesn't look like Classic Z. It looks like the manga drawings come to life. You know what I mean?
No, you know what it looks like? It looks like what you remember Dragon Ball Z looking like.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, hold on, I think we lost Sarah for a sec.
Yeah, stop.
Okay, we're back.
From what?
We had some technical issues that lasted a couple days, so
Where the
we're
fuck
back.
was I?
It definitely. It's only actually been a few hours since we recorded. Really, like 72.
Okay. So, this is like Rip Van Winkle stuff. I took a nap and you guys were gone for like a week. Okay.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine. It's fine. It's cool.
All right.
So what were we talking about?
We were talking about how fucking good Dragon Ball Fighter Z looks.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z looks so fucking good. Oh my
So-
god.
I'm uncomfortable by how pretty it looks. Jesus
Right?
Christ.
Arxis is just like they've always been great with sprite work, but with Guilty Gear and now this,
Oh my God.
stepping up the perfect one-to-one translation of like sprites or art style into 3D models
Oh, I know.
is like there's no competition about it. Like this is going to be like one of the biggest.
I mean, especially in comparison, I know we're not talking about this yet, but like in comparison to fucking Marvel versus Capcom Infinite or Infinity or whatever the hell it's called, like
Yeah.
there is no comparison.
man.
There is no comparison whatsoever. It is now the 3v3 like 2D fighter. Like,
Yeah.
it wins. Congratulations, Arxis, you did it. You beat Marvel
So-
versus Capcom of all things.
So there are a lot of like really cool things we've seen. I don't know if you guys watched any of the gameplay demos yet.
Just
I
the
have.
one you sent me.
Yeah, there's a bunch of really cool things in there. Like for one thing, they're doing something different than normal 3v3 with like the round change thing. Like normally for a hyper fighter like this, it's I guess King of Fighters does it the same way where it's in Capcom Marvel vs. Capcom, a fighter goes down, the new one immediately jumps in, and the battle just goes from there.
Right.
Like it's just one constant round, and you win after you defeat 3 characters. in Fighter Z, when a character goes down, the other character does a brief 5-second cinematic where the other new fighter flies in, clashes with the staying fighter, and then they break off to their starting position and the round starts.
That's so cool.
It looks so cool because the newcomer charges and their arms cross.
Yeah.
To block each other, and then they just break apart. It looks amazing.
It's so
It's a really nice
cinematic.
feature being able to do that, because actually treating it like a completely different, almost like a completely different round is a lot more dynamic for the fight, and also it's a lot more Dragon Ball Z kind of feeling.
Exactly.
There's really cool things where we've seen Frieza has an attack where he shoots just a bunch of energy pellets, and you can deflect them just like standard DBZ where you backhand the energy ball and it flies away. It will cause destruction in the environment.
Amazing.
Houses on Namek in the background will blow up, or mountains will crumble behind them.
That's amazing.
My favorite one ever is Frieza's, one of Frieza's supers is, of course, his energy discs, his purple energy discs. They get thrown, and then they will come back across the screen.
Yeah.
If he is airborne, they will hit him.
That is amazing.
So, just like in the anime, they will...
that's so cool.
One of his ultimates is the final blast he gives to Goku before Goku obliterates him on Namek.
Oh my God.
The one that he gives when he's just a floating torso missing an arm.
Oh my God.
That's
so cool.
He even screams out a portion of that speech as he does it too.
That's so cool. Shut up, Arxis.
My favorite thing about games like this, like anime games or based on an existing franchise like this, is that it's a perfect chance to just throw in a bunch of fan service like that,
right?
Where it's little quirks and stuff like that. The JoJo games are perfect examples of that, because they just have literally everything the characters do in that one is a reference to something that happened in the manga.
Right. Is this a reference to JoJo?
Yeah.
Is that a motherfucking JoJo's reference?
So,
amazing.
Without
cool.
a doubt, this is the best thing Microsoft showed, without a doubt.
I mean, for sure. Nothing
100%.
can top that. Just because... God, it's so cool. It's so cool.
It is.
I mean, I know we say that a lot on this show, but for real, it was just the distillation of what makes DBZ an awesome property, even if it is kind of ridiculous. That is what makes DBZ so cool. Is just the ridiculous, over the top kung fu fighting, and I can't wait. I'm terrible at fighters, and I'll probably still get it.
We've only seen the 6 so far: Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta, and then Frieza, Cell, and Boo. But considering it is not only a DBZ game but a 3v3 DBZ game.
Oh my God, it's gonna have everybody.
That roster's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be
I
huge.
hope to God that they have Hercule in it, and he's
please.
He's got a Dan Hibiki style moveset.
Please.
They need to put Hercule in, and he needs to have Jean Grey Phoenix and MV3 level health with a crazy hyper attack that will is nearly impossible to pull off, but if you do,
I want to say that should be for launch if they put her in.
Yes.
Yeah. And they have to put launch in because they're gonna need a bunch of playable characters. I'm hoping that everybody shows up. Everybody, every rando. I hope Bulma is playable with just a bunch of high tech shit. Come on.
If Xenoverse is any indicator, because Bulma's a DLC character.
Oh, that's perfect.
Perfect. Then we definitely need Bulma with a bunch of high tech.
She just hangs out with she just flies around with a jetpack and a laser gun.
Yeah, perfect.
That's so cool.
Ideal. So fuck yeah, DBZ. I guess it's Dragon Ball Fighter. I want to keep calling it DBZ Fighter, but it's Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Okay.
Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Yep.
Awesome. So next.
Next, we'll keep the good news rolling.
Yay!
Cuphead finally has a release date, and guess what? That game still looks great.
It still looks great. I'm really nervous about Cuphead because the rumor is that it got hit super hard with feature creep. Because it was supposed to just be a boss rush. That was the initial concept for Cuphead, is just a bunch of bosses. But now they're adding levels. So I'm a little nervous, but God, it looks beautiful, right?
Yeah. Oh, like as always, like this game has always looked amazing, and I really, really hope that it can work. Like it's not being delayed because they're trying to add stuff, because that game is going to win awards based on its art style alone. Like it doesn't need anything to be anything more than just really solid boss rush.
Right?
I'm just really impressed by how incredibly well they managed to emulate Fleischer Studios style animation.
Right,
yeah.
Like that's what really blows my mind is they've got it down pat, even to the idea of just like the frames are kind of blurry and
the characters' models are like non-existent because there is like no on-model concept back then.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It is so insane to me how perfectly they've even replicated the idea of the old-fashioned animation film grain. It looks like, it doesn't look anything like a cartoon. It doesn't look like a Flash fighter trying to emulate a style. It really does look like you are playing an old Fleischer Studios cartoon, which is insanity to me that they even managed to pull that off. And I would love a whole documentary about the making of Cuphead, because I want to know how they did that.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I want to see that art book.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to see how they pulled that off, like, because at some point you can actually kind of like see like the layering, but it's not like there's like layers of the like 3D game. It looks like fucking it straight up looks like the camera accidentally caught of like a glimmer off of the cell. Like it's so fucking good how they managed to pull this shit off.
I can't wait to like notice like intentional errors in the animation.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
I can't, because like I went to school for animation, and I really every single like still screenshot of Cuphead looks like a shot from an old cartoon. It doesn't look like I'm looking at a video game at all. That's what really blows my mind, is this doesn't look anything like a video game. It looks just like an old cartoon, which is just how?
I'm so happy for Cuphead.
It's magic. It's magic. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy with Cuphead.
It just needs to come out now, really.
Please.
Please
Is
let that be the final release date.
Is it supposed to only be for Xbox, or is it Xbox and Windows?
I think it's going to be Xbox and PC.
It said there was going to be a delayed PC release, so there's a chance.
Now, here's the other interesting thing, is that their release date thing said September. It didn't say a year.
Oh.
So...
Ben, no! How dare you!
So we'll see what happens as time goes on.
That. Come on, Cuphead, I believe in you.
So, next would be, Rare put out their tech demo for Sea of Thieves, and it does not look like it was worth the wait at all. It looks incredibly boring.
Let's not give it the 6.5 minutes that they forced us to, like,
God, right?
On.
Yeah, it looks boring.
That tech demo lasted way too long.
It was very long, and not a lot happened, and, like, for real,
empty
you could be doing
shit.
way better. Yeah, empty, and, like, we said Cuphead fears too many features. This has too few. Like, there's so little they showed off that it's just boring.
It's boring. Yeah, I don't want to spend any more time on it other than Sea of Thieves looks super boring, so yeah.
Yeah. So we also saw a trailer actually for Black Desert, which is the Korean MMO with the greatest creative character ever.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what that was. That was that MMO.
I mean, it's cool, but it's a Korean MMO, so...
It looks cool, it's an MMO, but I mean, like, it's just notable because it has that creative character, which is just, like, the most insane nuance I've ever seen.
Right, it's super in depth, but again, it's an MMO, and it's a Korean MMO, which means it's a it's a pay to play MMO.
Yeah.
So it's literally every single kind of video game I hate, except with a cool creative character. So whatever.
Yeah. Next we finally saw Crackdown 3 featuring Terry Crews, as all games should.
Fuck yes, every single video game should feature Terry Crews.
They're really Terry Crews is really insistent on not playing Doomfist.
God.
No!
Like,
Terry Crews, please!
like Crackdown's like, if they're not going to let him be Doomfist, we'll have Doomfist.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Terry Crews, please. Just
guarantee-
get Overwatch.
Terry Crews wants to, but I think Blizzard's not going to let him unless Doomfist becomes a PvE boss.
That would be
Which
dope.
would be cool, yeah.
That would be pretty
It
cool.
would be alright, but I'd much rather play fucking Terry Crews.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Well, you'll get to in Crackdown 3, which, it looks alright. It looks very unfinished.
It does look very unfinished, doesn't it? But Microsoft needs some fucking exclusives, because they are really floundering here.
I love the look of Crackdown 3. It reminded me a lot of, like, Saints Row 4, Saints Row Get Out of Hell kind of art style, which was absolutely batshit and really fun. So
there's potential there, but it's very clearly they're not even close to being done with that game.
Yeah,
I hope it gets wackier.
Yeah.
I played Crackdown 2, and I actually liked it, so, come on, Microsoft.
They need something.
They need something, Jesus God. They didn't even announce Halo, so they really need something. Oh my God. So, that's really
next
sad.
is, DB Fighter Z is the best game of Microsoft, but I think the best looking is The Last Night.
Oh, The Last Night. The most disappointing revelations ever. Even if the guy did apologize, it's like...
It was this great, like, roller coaster of literally everyone being like, The Last Night is the most spectacular, breathtaking looking game I've ever seen ever. And then it's going to be about what?
Yeah. Yeah. Whoops. It's about how, because people don't have to work to buy things anymore, they've become super sad and listless. What?
It's like the opposite of what every other, like, cyberpunk is about. I have never seen a game miss the point of cyberpunk so hard than when I read the plot synopsis of The Last Night. Cyberpunk is about the overbearing nature of buying shit and corporatism and the global conglomerates owning your life. Like,
it's not about how empty your life is now that you can buy whatever you want.
Like, there are so many cyberpunk, like, worlds that would be fixed if you could afford everything.
Right? Like, that's the whole point of what makes cyberpunk so sad and oppressive.
Yeah, but you don't seem to understand. Reds are still the biggest threat to America we have these days.
Of course. How could I be so foolish?
That actually, like, hurt me a little bit saying that. I think I might, like, need to lie down.
Better red than dead, Othar. Better red than dead. Or I guess the other way around. Like, better dead than red. Whatever. Fuck off.
Whatever. What do you get the point of?
Fuck off. Whatever. I'm tired.
Blade Runner would have been solved immediately if we could just afford everything.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you miss the point?
Make any sense.
The whole point of cyberpunk is that, like, global conglomerations have made living normal completely unaffordable, and so you have to sell your whole life and body to these corporations, and you're basically an indentured slave. We're still receiving a paycheck, and blah blah blah. That's the whole point of, like, 90% of all fucking cyberpunk is like, the overbearing nature of corporations. And The Last Night is like, but we need corporations to give our lives fulfillment, because if we don't work to buy things, then we become like drones, I guess.
Like, how boring would repo be if everyone had free healthcare?
Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer would have nothing to be angsty about.
Yeah.
Come on! So yeah, it's beautiful though. It's such a damn shame. It's gorgeous.
Like, I mean, yeah, the studio apologized, and like even the guy is like, no, that's not what the game's going to be about. But like,
it's what the game is about.
He still said some skeezy crap like recently, and like, it's like if anything though, that game can exist in GIF form, and I'll be satisfied with it.
Yeah, I can look at pretty pictures of it, and that's about it. So yeah. Whoops.
So a game that
it's not like we could anyway because it was an Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, it was also going to be on PC because Microsoft doesn't know what the word exclusive means.
Oh, was it? I thought I just saw like the Xbox. Okay, cool.
I think it's Windows 10 as well. So, but the point is, whatever. Next.
Yeah. So next is a game that doesn't look quite as pretty, but probably won't be as dumb. Is The Artful Escape, which also looked really quirky and fun and hipster as all fuck.
The fucking rhythm game platformer, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right.
Like the like kind of puppeteer look to it with the characters.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. That's really
Like I said during the E3 conference, it's like this person really loved like the Stinky Cheese Man as he was growing up. Yeah, and like that's all he could think about.
You look at that game and you just know that the creator of it wears a vest to work every day.
Has a mustache.
Like has a very full beard. Mm-hmm. You know, like
curls the ends of his mustache.
Yeah, and he drinks craft beer. Like that's that guy. Yep, you know that guy.
He's a nice guy. You guys are
hitting just a little too close to home here. Jesus.
You do live in you live in Hipster Central, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like half the guys I work with.
Whoopsie.
Does that mean I'm working on this game?
Well, actually, probably. You need to go check your payroll stubs right now, because you never know, my man.
Shit.
I know, right? But really, that's all kind of how I have to say. Is it looks like super hipstery, and
it looks. Yeah. It looks. It's a nice breath of fresh air from all the other like post-apocalyptic zombie games we saw this game. So that was worth noting. Right. The next one is also in that category. And this is a game that I think all three of us were like thought it was something different at first. Super Lucky's Tale. We all thought that was Conker, right?
We all thought that was Conker for sure. That's the only part of this. Like I remember nothing about that video except that I thought it was Conker.
Flitting of like him moving around. I was like, oh, that's Conker. And then we actually saw like the full thing of him, and I was like, that can't be Conker.
Well, I was like,
that can't be Conker.
I was like, maybe it's like prequel to Conker where he's younger and like there'll be like a turn in the trailer where things get like dark and adult humor,
right?
And then it didn't happen, and it's just like a really cute looking platformer.
It's
for kids.
It's a cute kids game, but it wasn't Conker, and yeah.
I would absolutely buy that for my baby cousin.
Yeah,
for sure.
So what I think is going to happen with Super Lucky's Tale is it's going to either be one of two things. It's either going to be a very like a utterly harmless but utterly not memorable 6 to 7 out of 10 platformer,
right?
Or it will be, oh my god, you haven't played Super Lucky's Tale?
Oh my god. Yeah, I can see that. It can be one of those.
That's like the only two categories it can be. I don't think it'll be bad, but it'll be either forgettable or it'll be the greatest thing to happen to platformer since Mario 64.
So it's gonna be either Bubsy 1 or Bubsy 3D, is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
Oh god. Okay, next.
Next is Anime Dark Souls, Code Vein.
Oh yeah, okay. It's Namdai's answer to Dark Souls. Sure.
Mm-hmm. They already do Dark Souls.
Yeah, Namdai already does Dark Souls, but this is like the anime Namdai.
This is the Tales. This is like the Tales team. Actually, I'm making that joke, and then I thought about it more, and I realized I'd play the shit out of a Tales Dark Souls game. So
yeah. Right.
The more I think about it, the more I'm like, wait, that would be amazing. Maybe I will play it.
People have been asking for like a modern day Souls game or like a future Souls game for a while, and I mean, this will be as close as we get until like the Dark Souls team actually does make that game.
Right.
Which they're talking about now.
It looks all right. I mean, it looks like out of all the Dark Souls games I've seen so far, besides Bloodborne, it's probably the one I'm most interested in actually playing.
Right. Otherwise,
looks really cool.
Looks kind of cool, but whatever.
And then continuing the Dark Souls train is Ashen.
I remember nothing about that. I remember nothing about that.
It's the one.
I remember. I just remember it being like the entire thing, just yelling, "This is Dark Souls 3."
Yeah,
this is just Dark Souls 3.
Oh yeah, okay.
No, this is really Dark Souls 3. Oh no, holy shit, this is Dark Souls 3.
No.
They're all underground and they're like going through like a mine shaft, and none of the characters have faces. It's got a unique art style, but I didn't see anything that immediately drew me into actually wanting to play it.
Right.
I like that. I like that weird Wild Hunt King though, with the crazy deer antlers. But he's probably like the first boss. So
yeah, exactly.
Right. So yeah.
The only other big news from Microsoft, and it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, is hey, fuck you, Sony. the Xbox One X is backwards compatible with all classic Xbox
That's
games.
insanity. Sony needs to get on that shit ASAP, because that is the biggest... Between that and actual functioning mods for Fallout 4 and fucking Skyrim, like, that is an actual selling point. That is a pretty...
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal, you know, if you can go back and play like really good-ass old Xbox games.
I
Like,
actually play Saints Row 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like...
So, like, after everything, after all the shitting on Microsoft that Sony's been doing since E3 2013,
right?
You know, with that whole debacle, this is the most distinct and best middle finger Microsoft can give to Sony.
Yeah, and like
it's pretty good.
And Matt, did you hear that like crowd reaction when they said Crimson Skies was backwards?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was one of those jerks. Like going, oh, Crimson Skies! Because I played Crimson Skies when I was a kid. Fuck yeah, that game is awesome. So yeah, so I don't understand at this point why Sony can't make this work, because obviously if they can put some kind of emulation software on the fucking Xbox One, then so can the PS4 for sure. Like there's no excuse anymore. There's no excuse at this point. Like just fucking do it. So and like there's a bunch of good ass old Xbox One games that need to be replayed, like in their proper, not like a remaster or whatever, like Escape from Butcher Bay with fancier graphics. No, the actual Escape from Butcher Bay is what I want to play, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
So,
but does this mean we can play like LAN parties with Halo 2?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, please.
Only.
We need to bring back the LAN party. If Microsoft brought back the LAN party, I would get an Xbox One tomorrow. Are you kidding me? I would not even think twice. I'd be like, yep, I'm getting me an Xbox now. Like, fuck yeah, that'd be amazing. Oh my god, I miss LAN parties.
Yeah, I miss LAN parties so much.
That was so awesome, so, yeah. Alright, anything else?
So that'll be it for Microsoft. That's everything that's kind of notable about them.
Overall...
C+.
C+.
Yeah, overall they showed some stuff that looked pretty interesting, but nothing that like convinced me to get an Xbox. We'll see how stuff like DBZ and Super Lucky Stale and Code Vein and whether or not Cuphead ever comes out or not.
Right. We'll see how that plays out. So yeah, like I said, C+, pretty okay. Like not great.
I like the games. I don't like the console.
Yeah. Too much. I can't have another fucking video game console. That's the problem. There's nothing.
Yeah.
None of it really motivates me to buy another console. You know.
Yeah.
So sorry, Microsoft.
Too expensive.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
I could just get a PC. So yeah.
So the next one is kind of weird. I don't know if either of you watched it. Did any of you see the Devolver Digital show?
I haven't watched it yet, and I meant to watch it before we talked today, but I've been so busy. I heard it was a trip and a half.
I watched bits of it, but also like I thought maybe I was getting a little too high, so I had to back away.
I will tell you this much about it. I watched it. I will tell you this much about it. The Adult Swim team is behind this conference.
Amazing. That's all you needed to tell me.
Alright.
The staff that made Too Many Cooks did this show.
Shut up.
So...
Wow, I bet it was bizarre.
Go and watch that when we're done recording.
I will. What does Devolver Digital even make?
They only showed 2 actual trailers, and I don't even remember what they're known for.
Oh.
They're like they're mostly, I think, PC. They showed a trailer for a game called Ruiner that's a twin-stick shooter that looks pretty hype.
Okay.
But I can't remember what anything they did. But who cares about the trailers? It's the actual conference that you need to watch.
Yeah, I need to definitely watch that then.
So, and I, like, it kind of works out because, like, if I said anything about it on the air, like, there's nothing to say, or it would spoil it for those who haven't seen it. So
right. So yeah. Okay. For sure.
Yeah. If you haven't, go watch it now because you didn't miss out on any games, but you missed out on an experience.
Oh, Devolver Digital does Hotline Miami and Serious Sam.
That's
okay. Well then that explains everything.
That explains a whole lot about what I've heard about Devolver's thing. Yeah. Oh my God, Devolver Digital's the one who brought Hatoful Boyfriend to the United States.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Well,
That's
I remember that
perfect.
because I would kind of flip my lid when I realized that these were the guys behind Hotline Miami.
Okay, then
Yeah,
we'll
well-
definitely watch this when we get done here. That's amazing. So
Okay. So, speaking of, like, actual, like, doing things with your conference, next was Bethesda, and I gotta say, I really, really liked Bethesda Land.
Bethesda Land
It's
as a concept was
cute.
really cute and fun.
Yeah.
I just wish they had a few more games.
Yeah, it was a very, very small, short release, but they had a very good presentation for it.
They did.
It's
They
too
had
bad
very good-
Bethesda Land turned out to be Busch Gardens instead of Disneyland, you know?
How long have you been sitting on that joke, Othar?
Actually, like 20 seconds.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, good. Because
That is amazing.
You crushed it.
That was perfect. That is so true, though. Like, it had some good shit, like Wolfenstein. Oh my god, Wolfenstein. And it had Dishonored and Death of the Outsider, which is also like, But at the end of it, you know, like, Pete Hines kind of looked like he wanted to say something else, and he didn't. And I'm like, did you want to announce Starfield? And kind of like at the last minute, you guys decided you weren't ready for Starfield? Like, I don't know. Even Pete Hines kind of looked disappointed up on stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah, they looked like they had more they wanted to announce, but, like, they were, like, very recently decided, no, we're not ready for it.
And they really needed, I think I said this, I either said this in the chat or I said this at some point on the air, I don't remember which. This year is the year for Bethesda to announce Starfield. They had to, I mean, I really, honest to God, think they had to announce it this year for it to make an impact. And the fact that they didn't, and maybe they will before the year is up, but the fact that they didn't at E3 is a huge loss for them. Because we know Starfield is in development. They haven't denied it. They know they still have the patent on the copyright on the name. We know they still are working on Starfield on the down low. And with the failure of Mass Effect Andromeda, this is the year for them to, like, snatch the space exploration RPG away from BioWare and, like, take control. And they didn't do it. And it's such a wasted opportunity for them. It's, to me, it blows the mind. They couldn't put together like a little, I know they tend to want to announce games very soon, like that's kind of Bethesda's new MO, I guess, is to announce games within a few months of their actual release, but I think this is one time they could have stood to actually just put out a short hype trailer for a game that's not due for another year and a half, because this was the year for them to put out an announcement for Starfield, and they fucked it up. And I just think if they announce it down the line,
There was
it won't
like
have
a
the same
bead.
impact.
There was like a bead on BioWare, and then like BioWare sneezed right as they took the shot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it could have been like their moment to really snatch it away and be like, we are the action RPG, because they're not like a true RPG company anymore. You know, fucking everybody knows that now. But they could still have the title of like an action RPG company. And they just decided to not. And there was even a space-themed section on their Bethesda
there
Land
was.
thing. You know?
And everyone was like, oh, and no, it didn't happen.
It was nothing.
It's
It was nothing.
it's secretly for Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
We're going to... Wait, didn't Wolfenstein already go to the moon? Whatever.
Yeah, they go to space in the New Order.
So, yeah.
So we'll just go down the line then of what they actually did announce. And the first is shocking, absolutely no one in the world, Fallout 4 VR and Doom VR.
Who cares?
I will say that Doom VFR is probably the most creative name you could give that.
For sure.
Virtual fucking reality is a pretty good title
Very
for your
doomy.
game.
Very doomy,
Yeah.
but otherwise a big collective shrug from, I think, all
Yeah.
of us at the same time, basically, when we were watching it together, so...
I mean, it's probably nice for the people who can afford VR, but that's not us.
That's not a lot. That's not a lot of people. Like, a lot of people still can't afford VR. It's way outside their price range.
What I did like is in the Fallout 4, the settlement building, the
looked pretty
new
cool.
UI, the UI for that, where it kind of like rotates around your Pip-Boy, looked pretty damn cool.
That did look pretty cool.
Yeah.
A good little UI design, a tweak that definitely the in-game settlement system needed. But yeah. Otherwise,
besides that, no one cares, and then also no one cares about, hey, it's time for paid mods again.
Oh my god, how many... Have you seen that it is mostly disliked? Bethesda has to delete all the negative comments on that YouTube video because there's so many of them, and it's entirely dislikes.
And it's got that commenter who's like, how many times do we gotta teach you this lesson, old man?
Oh, Bethesda, do you ever think it's gonna work? It's never gonna work at this point. You've tried this is twice
trying. Now. They keep trying.
But
it's not gonna work.
It
only works for Steam, and it only works for Valve games. You can't pull it off, dude. You can't.
But they're trying to disguise it as the what's it? The creator something?
Creation Club?
Yeah, Creation Club, where it's like paid mods with like a fake mustache. It's like, yes, hello, I am Made Pods. Yes, that'll do.
I'm almost certainly not a paid mod. They're like, you buy it with credits. Well, how do you get credits? Well, you have to spend actual money on it. That still fucking sounds like paid mods to me, Bethesda.
This isn't a pay-to-play sort of game, you see. These are entirely optional modulations.
They're not a paid mod. They're a mod you pay for. You see the distinction, yes?
So yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm not buying any of your shitty mods. I don't care how cheap they are.
It'd be a lot nicer if they did the system that, like, Nexus does, where you don't have to pay them at all, but you can, like, throw a tip jar at them.
Yeah! If Creation Club was a tip jar, I would be all for it, because, a lot of these mods that come out are, like, major things, and I would love to throw a few bucks their way.
Right, and the Nexus has a tip jar option now. And, I mean, that's cool. That's really all you need, you know? But a paid mod that is basically just... I get it that they're more curated than your average mod, and they probably won't have to... Like, I can see the appeal, for sure, because it's a curated mod that wouldn't require to be stuck... You wouldn't have to fight with the load order that you do on, like, Xbox and PC and PS4. I get that appeal, for sure. I'm not stupid. But at the same time, it is such an astronomically bad idea, because it is the same idea they had years ago, and it backfired on them. You've got to just be like... I like the idea that Omar said of a fucking tip jar. The idea of just, pay what you want for the mod, or pay nothing for it. But the idea that it's just a reskinned, fancier title for fucking paid mods is just ridiculous.
What you can do is that, like, you can have it be like this curated system like that, because Bethesda's doing like official modding like this. You can have the curated system be like, only, like, your mod has to meet, like, a certain criteria before you can ask for money for it, because Bethesda's putting it up for free, you know?
Yeah.
But, one of the things I like is the way that, Bandcamp does it, which is that when you buy something on Bandcamp and it's free, you're brought to a page where it says, like, how much money do you want to put down? And you can type in 0.
Right.
Like, you're totally willing to, but because you see, like, a $sign, you're encouraged, like, I'll put $1, I'll put $5, you know? Like, when you're brought to a screen that says, like, here's where you can pay your money, instead of having to, like, click on the pay money button.
Right.
Like, you're way more, like, quietly encouraged to throw a few bucks their way, and that's all you would need to do. But, like, saying, like, no, pay the money now is going to turn so many people off.
Because you don't know... I have downloaded, in just playing with mods on my fucking PS4, I have downloaded so many mods that I didn't like, and immediately uninstalled after I was like, nah, never mind, I don't like the way this plays with the rest of my system, or I don't like the way this does whatever. You know, I don't like the idea of buying a thing and having probably no chance of a refund if it's completely worthless to me, or I end up not liking it, or whatever. It's not nearly as cool as I thought it was going to be. Like, that's the whole point of mods, is that, you download a mod, you install it, you go, oh, this is cool, I'll keep it, or, oh, never mind, I don't need this, fuck it. That's the whole point. Whatever. So it's such a stupid idea.
Yeah, so that'll blow up in their faces again.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep trying.
They're going to keep trying until it takes, so whatever. As long as they don't touch the Nexus.
Yep. So speaking of no one cares, Hey, do you like Skyrim?
Oh my god, Todd Howard, enough of Skyrim!
Fear not the man who releases 1,000 games, but the man who releases one game 1,000 times!
You're right, I do fear Todd Howard. I fear Todd Howard in my soul. I'm afraid Todd Howard is going to be looking at me through my window right now going like, don't you want to buy Skyrim again? Leave me alone, I already bought it once. It's enough.
Listen, Skyrim VR, again, no one cares. Skyrim
cares.
On Switch, the only thing notable about Skyrim on Switch is that, hey, the Switch is powerful enough to run Skyrim.
Right, that's it.
It's
That's
not
all
just
that matters.
powerful enough to run Skyrim, it's capable of running Skyrim with motion controls.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's
fucking...
It's still just fucking Skyrim! Skyrim is not that great!
We've already played Skyrim! Like, listen.
6 years ago.
Todd, listen. Todd, I know you're listening to this. Todd, pay attention.
Todd.
If people want to play Skyrim, they already own Skyrim.
Where is Elder Scrolls 6, you piece of shit?
No one is like, wait a minute, they made an Elder Scrolls 5, you say? No, we already know.
We know, Todd, we know that Skyrim exists. You can't keep selling a Skyrim, you son of a bitch. You're gonna try.
When do you think...
I know, but fuck.
Where do you think Skyrim, or like, Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be?
Jesus. I would like to go back to Morrowind, because I know it's like a fucking crater now. Which would be cool. You know what I mean? Like, that would be really cool to see like a post-apocalyptic fucking Morrowind. How dope would that be? Shut up. But we won't. It'll probably... I don't know where Skyrim would be.
I want to see where the forest elves are, because I really love the fucking ape men that, like, showed up in Daggerfell, and that was it.
I bet they were just fucking, because they are just so creatively bankrupt in so many ways. They just take us back to fucking Tamriel. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Elder Scrolls 6, also called Skyrim 2.
So, the only other thing I know, like, and I talked to my friends about this, like, yesterday, we were talking about, like, the E3 and stuff. Like, man, the Link tunic that you get looks awful in Skyrim.
It's hideous.
I love how bad it looks.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
It reminds me of that era of video games where instead of like doing like CG 3D models, they would put human beings in costumes and have them dance in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Like
that's
Mortal
what
Kombat
it looks
1.
like.
Yeah.
I love the look of it because it looks like they just stole a Nexus mod.
It does! Oh my god, it totally looks like they just jacked
like,
a mod for
I
the
would have been fine if they just put, like, the Master Sword, the Hylian Shield, and, like, the ancient gear, like, the spear and bow and all that. Like, they put that in. But the tunic looks so hideous in this game.
It's so ugly. Do you want to walk around as a fucking Nord wearing Link's goddamn blue tunic? Just a giant...
because it's so bad looking.
It's so ugly.
And here's the irony of it. The green tunic would have looked way better.
It would have looked like actually appropriate if they had used the Twilight Princess tunic, which is like, you know, a proper shade of foresty green with chainmail underneath it and all that good shit. That's like a real Elder Scrolls looking outfit. Not the fucking blue tunic. Are you looking at pictures of it right now, Othar?
Yes!
That's why you keep giggling.
It's so funny!
It looks so bad. Like, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. In Breath of the Wild, it looks amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's one of Link's best designs ever. But you put that on, like, a regular-ass normal human being in Skyrim, and it looks awful.
Oh my god, it's so hideous.
Oh no, what I want to do is I want to build an orc character and put that in it. Put him in that.
I want to put,
oh god, put that in an Argonian.
That's what I was gonna say! Or what's the cat people? What are the cat people? I'm suddenly blanking.
Khajiit.
The Khajiit!
Khajiit.
I am gonna make a fucking Khajiit and put the fucking thing in Link's blue tunic, and it's gonna be the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Stop trying to sell me Skyrim, you bastards.
Yeah.
We gotta keep moving so we
Pull it together, Othar! You'll be okay!
We've got like an hour and a half to go.
Oh boy. Alright, keep going. Let's
Next, hey, it is Quake. Remember Quake? Quake's back. It's Quake.
I don't care.
BJ Blazkowicz is in it.
Quake is officially the fucking Super Smash Brothers of first-person shooters.
Yeah. It's, I don't care about Quake. Stop trying to make professional gamers look cool. I know.
No, but you play it in an airplane hangar.
Stupid.
Look, that commercial was the most cringy. Like,
I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah.
I thought I was going. I actually thought I was gonna cringe so hard I would turn inside out. So no, thank you.
Okay, so let's get to the good shit.
Can we please get to the good shit?
Showed. Yeah, they showed Evil Within 2, Evil Within Her.
That actually looks pretty cool.
That looks like some exciting shit because like Evil Within was a poor man's Resident Evil 4. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those games where, like, there was nothing objectively, like, wrong with it.
Right.
It just was, like, boring. So the idea of them giving it a once-over is, like, I'll see what you can do with that.
For sure. I mean, I really want to give the Evil Within
Evil Within was kind of one of those games where, like, it was just a little better than mediocre, so it kind of stood out from being just an average game.
It definitely has. Everything I've seen of it is that it seems to have a kind of interesting aesthetic going for it, and a very neat kind of concept behind it. But it just kind of stumbled at the finish line, so I'm really interested. If they give it another pass over and kind of retool it a little, I'm sure they can do something really interesting with it. So I'm
the wax people aesthetic.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Looks really cool, and I hope that is something in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's it has a very good style to it. It has. Yeah. I really like the kind of design aesthetic that both Evil Within games kind of have running through them, which is a really interesting kind of trippy version of your standard Resident Evil. Like, it's Resident Evil 4, but a little bit more, I guess, I don't want to say trippy, because for one I already said it, but for two...
Psychological.
Yeah, a little bit more psychological. There's a good word, yeah.
Yeah, it's more cult and less,
zombies, Zambambos.
Less bioweapons and more, like, psychological thriller.
Right, and I'm pretty interested in that. So if the Evil Within 2 ends up being good, I'll probably go back and play the Evil Within, or watch, the two best friends play it. And then, I hope it's good. The Evil Within, to me, feels like a game that could be great with a little bit of tweaking, so cautiously optimistic.
It feels like this might let it stand amongst its peers.
Right.
Like, stand amongst Silent Hill or Resident Evil.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
this is its chance to stand out.
Yeah,
it does definitely seem like a good halfway point between the ridiculousness of Resident Evil 7 notwithstanding, and the bone seriousness of Silent Hill. It kind of seems like a good middle point. And what I have seen of it is that while Evil Within is not terribly scary, it has its moments where it can kind of get to you, which is cool. So, yeah.
Yeah. And hey, that song! That song
is real good! That's a good cover of Duran Duran, man!
That's a real good cover.
That's a real good cover of Duran Duran. So, yeah. They have a lot of great music at Bethesda's thing. So, yeah, you guys have got great taste in music, at least.
Mm-hmm. Next was... one of the two highlights, I think.
Oh boy.
Which is Dishonored: Death of the Outsider.
Can I talk now? I'm so excited!
Yeah, you can talk now.
Hey, let's talk about an expansion pack that we knew was coming.
I know, but it's so good! It's so good! It looks so awesome! Oh my god!
I mean, like, the fact that it is a disc and not, like, DLC, like...
And it's only $30! It's only gonna be $30! How cool is that? So it's a full disc-based game, and they're clearly just building, because apparently a lot of it is still set in Karnaka, so they're obviously gonna reuse assets and stuff, but there's still enough new shit in the game that they couldn't just release it as DLC. They're gonna have to release it as a separate disc for $30! You get to play as Billy Lurk, you get to see Dowd again, apparently you're gonna try and kill the Outsider. I'm not going to kill the Outsider, go fuck yourself, Arcane. Oh my god, how cool does it look?
I cannot wait to shove the Outsider into a cereal locker and steal his lunch money.
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
I love that Bethesda has officially, like, taken its stance on DLC and expansion packs by saying, yeah, we can do both. Just because, like, we switched over to DLC doesn't mean we can't stop using expansions. It's fantastic.
It's fantastic, and Billy looks super cool.
With her bionic eye and her bionic arm.
Her fucking cool murder sword. Apparently it's the sword that actually killed the Outsider, like, 5,000 years ago that turned him into a god. So, oh my god, I don't even know what's happening, and I'm already incredibly into it. Like, of all of the announcements of Bethesda's show, that is the one that had me absolutely squealing with excitement, because I fucking love Dishonored.
I need to finish Dishonored 2.
It's so good. It's so worth it.
I'm still really bitter.
If there is even one level that is half as good as Cracking the Slab in Death of the Outsider, then it's already an amazing game. It doesn't even have to be as good as Cracking the Slab, because Cracking the Slab is perfect, of course. If it's half as good as Cracking the Slab, then you've made a better stealth game than most weird supernatural stealth games. Yeah.
What I really hope out of this is that because it's Billy and it's not Corvo and Emily or Dowd,
right?
And we've seen her with the eye and the arm and the sword, I'm really, really hoping she will lean heavily into tech over magic.
I know that her powers don't come from the Outsider. That's what Harvey Smith was saying in an interview, so we'll see. There's a bunch of interviews and stuff already out that I haven't had a chance to watch yet, because I've been busy. That I'm really, really excited, and it's really close. It's September, which is not far. I actually, despite what I said about Starfield earlier, I really do like this trend of Bethesda's, where they're just
here. It's coming out in a year.
Here it is. It's coming out real fucking... I mean, Death of the Outsider comes out, this September?
Yeah, this September.
That's insane.
3 months away.
That's 3 months. Like, I love this trend of not making me wait 12 goddamn years for a video game, Square Enix. Because the after a certain point, the game can never match up to the hype, and I think Bethesda's finally learned their lesson with that. And maybe a few games probably could have stood to stay in the oven for a little bit long. Fallout 4. But I still think overall it's a pretty good policy to have, and it looks like other game companies are taking it to heart too. I'm really kind of happy to see the idea of the announce a game 5 years before it comes out. I'm happy to see that die. If this is a trend that the industry is going to kind of keep following, I'm very glad for it.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild's a lot better because they didn't wait that long.
Right?
I was kind of expecting the second they started talking about it, oh yeah, that's like 7 years in the making.
Nope.
We're going to go through 2 consoles before we get to that. Nope, just 1 console.
Just 1 console. Pretty good. Pretty good for Nintendo and a full-fledged Zelda game, so yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. So there's not much else to say about that because we haven't seen any gameplay or anything besides that first teaser and like the interviews. But like,
there've been a few screenshots and they look really, really good. So I'm into it. I'm into it. If it's more Dishonored 2, then you can't fuck it up because Dishonored 2 is a good video game. So whatever.
The one as much as I like that though, the one that just like got me screaming in excitement, like, oh my god, Wolfenstein looks so fucking good.
I'm so happy. I remember as we were watching this, they first started showing like the TV trailers of a bunch of like blonde Aryan kids, and I was like, oh, this is Wolfenstein. And then I started screaming, this is Wolfenstein. And the other two were like, what are you talking about? And then like it slowly drew out. It was so good.
Oh man, that is an 8-minute long trailer, and every single second of it is just fire. Man.
I was so fucking blown away by the fact that there's like it's straight up an animation cell, like moving character in a video game.
Right? With the little trippy, the guy who does acid in the middle of a gunfight and starts hallucinating his little cartoon frog friend. How cool. Come on.
I mean, God.
Like, I think like aside from Mario, can you name another video game character that has like persisted as long as BJ Blazkowicz?
I can't. I think he is the original first-person shooter guy. He is the original first-person shooter guy. So BJ Blazkowicz is like, yeah, man, and I just
looks so good.
I am loving the aesthetic of this game. I'm loving its design sense. I'm loving how hard they're going with the "fuck you, kill fascists" angle.
Yeah, well, they're like there's that interview where the guy's like, we wanted to include as many ways for you to brutally eviscerate Nazis as possible.
How great is that? And I like that people are getting angry because they forgot what Wolfenstein is about. It's always been about killing Nazis, guys. Nazis are still the bad guys, you know. And they talk about how the fact that they're adding hatchet kills because God knows everybody wants to kill Nazis with hatchets, and I can't wait. And
and there's so many good. There's so many just like hilarious moments in that trailer where BJ's got the gun on him and he's like, I want to affirm right now, I am not a Nazi. Did you say you're a Nazi?
I like the one little like line where they're both laying on the ground and she's walking off and you hear that one guy go, "Bitch got a sick sense of humor." And like everything about that trailer is just golden to me. Because the new order
refreshing change of pace.
It is such a good change of pace. It is so much fun. The trailer itself is just the developers having a lot of fun with their completely insane setting and the fact that the game is just, it is Wolfenstein, and Wolfenstein is about brutally killing Nazis, and they have just completely taken that and they're just having a blast with it, which is what you want. If you can see the fun that the developers are having making the game in the trailer, then you know you're going to have fun playing the game, and that's all I ask, you know? So, fucking shit.
So I bought the New Order like the day after the trailer came out.
That's an effective ass trailer.
I'm going to order it right now, and I am going to play that as soon as possible because it looks like fun.
Best,
I can't wait.
It's so fucking good.
I will probably play it as soon as I finish Horizon at some point. Whoopsie.
It's dropping down in price again, so you should probably wait a little bit on that because it's at the point where the New Order and its expansion pack are now like included in one game, like in one disc. Nice. Yeah, so I'd wait a little bit on that to see if it drops to, like, below 30.
Thanks. Definitely. I'm so cheap. I love that. I love being told that. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Was there anything else from Bethesda?
That was, besides Skyrim Online, or
Who cares?
Elder Scrolls Online, and a Skyrim card game, but whatever, that was...
Whatever, no, that shit does. Those aren't video games. That's just... No.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Online looks okay, just because Orsinium and Morrowind are in it.
I heard Elder Scrolls Online is actually pretty good for an online game, but I just don't like online games, so, you know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So that was it for Bethesda Land. So the next one is Ubisoft, which also didn't have a whole ton to show.
I missed that one, so I probably would be a little quiet during this part.
I caught the highlights of it, and I watched the few trailers that I thought were pretty good. So we'll just go quickly through that. Mario and Rabbids looks good.
It turns out it's an XCOM game.
It turns out it's Mario XCOM.
Which is weird.
You could have made that game without Rabbids, and then I would be way more excited about it. But you put Rabbids in, so I'm not.
Yeah, nope. Rabbids are just the minions of video games.
Yeah, they at least exist in such a way that they have a nice tongue-in-cheek humor to it, but you could also just do that without them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have replaced the Rabbids with, like, Wario, Waluigi, and, like, Peach and Daisy.
That would be awesome.
It would have been the same thing.
What?
Oh, God, never mind. I'm sorry. I was going to say, don't you mean Princess Leech and Princess Lazy?
You know what? That is way better, actually.
That is significantly better.
100% better.
Oh, man. That is a lot funnier, too. Man. I want that. Damn it.
Yeah.
I want evil alternate versions of Peach and Daisy now. Come on, guys.
Yeah. That would be hilarious to see, actually. And, like, yeah. But beyond that, like, it looks like a fun XCOM game, and the animation is really good in it, and the character designs are really good, but it's got rabbits in it, so I'm immediately turned off.
Yeah, I don't care. So, next.
Skull and Bones looks like the good version of Sea of Thieves.
Alright.
It's that multiplayer pirate game, but it actually looks good, and it seems to be a little bit better, but beyond that, there's not much to say about it. It's just sail your ship, attack other ships that are in the MMO world, and blah blah blah, find treasure. I think we've all got experience in pirate RPGs and can say I think we're a little burnt out on it.
I'm a little burned by how Ubisoft fucked up The Division. So I have as cool as the game looks, and I did see parts of that trailer. Probably not. As much as I like the idea of playing pirates, and I don't like online games. And The Division was way much more of a clusterfuck than it needed to be. So yeah, don't care.
Sorry. But the only thing that does look really good from them, is Far Cry 5 looks.
Far Cry 5 does. I mean, it's a Far Cry game. It's kind of hard to fuck up Far Cry as long as you're, killing people in cool, ridiculous ways. I like the Hope County, Montana setting. It sounds like they're not going to go as hard on killing fascists as we were all hoping.
No, but we have Wolfenstein now, so it's okay.
Yeah. But I guess, killing cultists is also pretty interesting, but still.
There was that one gameplay demo we saw where it's you and I think it's the bar owner who's working alongside you, and they've upped the AI to her where you can, because in Far Cry you could always mark targets on the map.
Right.
Now you can mark a target for her to shoot at your call.
Wow, that is pretty cool, yeah.
Instead of guiding to them and marking them and then they'll pull the trigger automatically, it's mark them, and then when you're ready, you can trigger them to open fire.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like a lot of I really like... Far Cry is kind of I don't believe in guilty pleasures, but I think if I had to list one single guilty pleasure series, it's Far Cry.
Far Cry is your junk food.
Yeah, it's junk food, for sure. It's McDonald's, but it's good.
Yeah. But it's fun. And it's fun and enjoyable, and, it's good for a quick, easy thrill. It's the same reason people play, Dynasty Warriors games or whatever. It's just, it's going to be fun. It's not going to be deep at all. It's going to be as shallow as a puddle, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, they can never
it's
kind of match.
It's a good brainless game.
They can, they kind of keep trying to match Far Cry 3 with its, charismatic villain and fucked up hero. But, you can't, unless they really just go hard again with the whole idea of the hero losing their mind because they went on a killing spree. Far Cry 3 did a lot of really interesting things for an Ubisoft game, but then Ubisoft kind of fucking missed the point with 4. So we'll see how 5 turns out. But 3 is kind of where it starts, and it's actually pretty good, so yeah.
I'm just thinking of that one Gundam infographic that's the Gundam's shooting, and it's the messages of war, except it's Ubisoft shooting its own gun of Far Cry 3.
It's Ubisoft is the one going, wow, cool gunplay, and it's the main character of Far Cry 3 shooting, and it just says murdering thousands is bad for your mental health.
Yeah, and they just decided to completely, they're like, wait, what if we made Far Cry 4 also about a charismatic villain? Cool, except you forgot to put him in the fucking game, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll see how...
That dude.
I know, Pagan Min is the coolest part of Far Cry 4, and he's barely in the goddamn game. So we'll see how fucking 5 turns out.
I'm so happy that there's a secret ending where you just wait 10 minutes and then you can hang out with him.
Right? That's the only good... It's literally the only good ending of Far Cry 4. But whatever, we're getting off topic.
The only other question I have about Far Cry 5, and I'm really waiting for their justification of it, is how the fuck do you get trapped in Montana? Because Far Cry 3 was an island.
Right.
And Far Cry 4 was a mountain-locked region.
Right.
Far Cry 5 is in fucking Montana.
Well, okay,
anything and they're like, oh, the roads are blocked off. They give you a plane.
I was going to say, Montana's not really it can be a really dangerous place to drive around in, and it's also a really dangerous place to, fly in, with a low-flying plane, just because of, the sheer amount of wind shear that it has up there. And also, you can't drive too far in some areas, because it's iced over even this summer. And then also there's buffalo.
I guess
but Othar, helicopters exist!
That's also true.
But I can only think is that, your player character is a U.S. Marshal, so they don't have an inclination to escape. They're trying to do the right thing.
Yeah, but I mean, if buildings are, on fire, someone's going to notice and send the FBI.
Yeah, that's the only part I'm having a really hard time suspending my disbelief about. But again, it's Far Cry, it's junk food, so... As long as it's kind of fun, I guess I don't mind. But that is kind of dumb. I mean, I get that they're trying to make some fucking statement, but the game is going to be ultimately about nothing.
Mm-hmm. It's not a very good statement if they're going to be like, if the theme's going to be aiming at like Scientologists who at this point aren't really like a political message threat kind of thing.
Yeah, they were trying to be, I don't know, we'll see how hard they go with the whole, I think they're trying to reference the Bundy takeover in Oregon.
Which is sensible, but...
Yeah.
I get that they're trying to do that, but they're also kind of making a dig at Scientology? I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, but, we'll see. That the gameplay looks like fun, and that's all that really matters.
Right.
So the other one that is, jaw-dropping and, probably one of the hypest moments of E3 is fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2!
It's never coming out!
It's never coming out, but we saw it, and,
that trailer is a lot of fun, isn't it?
That was a very fun madcap trailer. None of that's going to be in the game.
None of that is going to be in the game. There's no way the game is going to look like that.
I can't believe we got a Beyond Good and Evil 2 before we got a Half-Life 3. That was the thing. That was the one that I thought was never going to happen. It's dead in the water.
So here's my and I watched that and I'm like, oh my god, it's Beyond Good and Evil 2. This looks great. Then I thought about it and I read about it. For one thing, it's going to be a prequel, which means no Jade.
What? But isn't that Jade at the end of the trailer?
No, that's
why
not
is
Jade.
It called 2 then?
I don't know. The other thing is he talked about how he wants to make it an open world planet exploring game akin to No Man's Sky.
Oh,
and that's when the hype levels plummeted.
Oh
no. So they're taking
friends with the baboon.
They're taking all the parts that were really good about Beyond Good and Evil 1 and then not putting them in Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh,
and so
I don't care anymore.
Yeah, so that was very upsetting.
That's a shame.
But that monkey is cool.
That trailer was cool, but we're never going to get that game, so great. Fuck, whatever.
So, but that was Ubi.
B minus.
Yeah, I mean, Far Cry, nothing offensively bad, but not a lot of, wow factor.
And it's...
plus.
I'd put it to C minus just because, what ended up happening with Far Cry 5 was, it feels like they slowed down a couple of their punches instead of really going all out with it.
Yeah, for sure. And now that you've told me this about Beyond Good and Evil 2, I do take that back. C plus. Maybe. C, just a general C. Whatever, fuck it.
Far Cry looks good, Rabbids looks alright, that's about it. Worth mentioning.
Next.
So, next is one of the best of the year, because of course they always do really good. Sony.
Hey, Sony, good for you guys. You actually did pretty good.
Let's start off with one that wasn't actually at the announcement, at the conference, but was announced literally hours beforehand. Undertale on PS4.
That is a really bizarre move. It's also getting a Japanese localization, which is just insanity.
Yeah, it's incredibly important that they do that because, that is, the guaranteed way to make sure that Undertale gets not, a huge console audience. It's an enormous foothold, and if it is going to actually be, a Sony exclusive, this is, Sony's answer to how Nintendo sniped Cave's story from everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's interesting. I'll probably get it just as a digital download. I actually own it for my PC and I need to play it at some point. I spent $10 on it.
Yep, this is my chance to actually play it.
Long after the hype.
Yep.
Long after the hype is fizzled.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh, that iron is ice cold.
And that's fine. I actually
But I'm
prefer it
striking
that way.
anyway.
Well, see, the good news is it's dead for everybody who has played it here in the States. it's going to be really big once it hits Japan, because they're like,
that's true.
It's got an enormous small cult following right now for like the few people who are into the PC gaming, which is not a lot of people in Japan.
Right, yeah,
so
it's not a big deal. PC gaming is weirdly not a thing in Japan. I don't understand, but that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah, I can talk about that for like ages, but not now.
But not now. Yeah, so Sony was pretty good. Undertale is a pretty cool announcement. Sony had some good stuff. I mean, it wasn't like their best conference ever, but, they had some good stuff.
They had some stuff I got excited for. So we'll just go down. This is a long list. They announced a ton of stuff. And what I really appreciated that it was a guy walked in and he's like, yep, Sony's great. We love working in Sony. Everything is great at Sony. Here's all our games now.
And then there was no more talking.
Yeah, trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer after trailer, and then there was no interrupting from any marketing exec or whatever. It was just, here they are, we're good to go.
Right.
So
down the list we go.
Uncharted it's Uncharted.
It's Uncharted.
Yep.
I'm glad that it's Uncharted 5, I guess. It's
nice.
I love that it's a spin-off game. I really like those two.
I like the idea of a buddy cop Uncharted with two of the female protagonists of the series.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Antagonists, actually.
Yeah. Antagonists, yeah.
But now they're protagonists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
good for you guys.
Good for them. I wish we could have heard it.
Yeah, the sound mixing for the first 10, 15 minutes was pretty rough.
Yeah. Something went wrong with literally every it's like you and I, like the three of us were all like, wait, okay, so the chat's saying that the Sony stream is working, so we go to the Sony stream and they're still not having sound on that one, so like everyone in the chat's like, no, the official Twitch stream is showing it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I heard YouTube has fixed the audio, and like no one had
what was going on. It was pretty bad. They did eventually fix it, but I did not hear a single word of the Uncharted trailer. So,
but I mean, we could see it, and it was Uncharted. Like, there's nothing really they can say about it.
It's Uncharted. I haven't played any of the other ones, so
Like, all you missed was like quips. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just like 90% quips between the two characters.
Right.
Yeah, there might have been like a cute like Indiana Jones style like lore dump, but that's about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Next.
More Horizon.
Oh my god, thank god, more Horizon. I haven't even finished Horizon, but I'm already excited for Horizon DLC. It's been a minute.
And it's got a cool Arctic winter setting, mountain exploring. Kind of like reminds me of the intro part of Horizon where you're doing that test and you have to, and it looks fucking gorgeous, and you get to that part where you see the crazy tentacles.
Yeah, there are, I know you're not as far in Horizon as I am, there are other snowy areas in Horizon, obviously at the northern half of the map, and they're really cool. I'm really hoping they kind of go a little bit harder with the whole frozen area, where, like, temperatures and stuff actually matter, because the only thing that really weirded me out is that Aloy can walk around in the frozen area, in short sleeves, and she's fine.
Yeah. Well, she's a tough girl.
She's a tough chick, for sure, but, I want to see them maybe push the survival aspect a little bit harder, so we'll see. Either way, I adore Horizon. Even though we haven't talked about it on the podcast yet, I actually really, really, really love Horizon, and I have a lot to say about it, and we'll get there eventually. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, viewers or listeners. Persona put a lot of our podcasts on hold. Like, I'll straight up admit it, Persona took our schedule and threw it in the dumpster.
Yeah, it kind of just, kicked it out the window. Sorry.
We're so far behind, and I'll be completely transparent about that.
Yeah, whoops. But that said, Horizon is a really good game, and frankly, Guerrilla is a really, really good developer, because they keep putting out fun, free patches for Horizon Zero Dawn that expand on the photo mode and just kind of do a lot of interesting little bug fixes. They've done a lot of really cool, simple quality of life fixes in free patches that normally you wouldn't see happen, and I'm talking about simple things like the fact that you couldn't sell resources in bundles before. They patched that in. These are like Bethesda level post-game tweaks that Guerrilla has been instituting as the game has gone out for a while now. They're still putting out patch notes months after the game has come out. So I really appreciate that. I think Guerrilla makes good games, even though I don't personally play the Killzone games. I can appreciate them from a distance. And so I have a lot of faith in their Horizon DLC, because I just think they do good work. So I'm really excited because, again, I love Aloy. I love the setting. Nobody does the open world exploration thing better, honestly. Maybe Breath of the Wild, but I didn't play Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So,
they are comparable. Like, without a doubt, they are comparable.
Everything I've seen of Breath of the Wild has told me that, if anything, Horizon absolutely has a leg up in the combat section. Nobody does cool, over-the-top, giant monster encounters better than Horizon right now, because they are...
For sure.
Again, this is the conversation for the podcast, but just like the short version of it is that Horizon is a game that teaches you to be good at it in the best way, and so... I can't wait to take the skills that I learned from Horizon to a new area. So I'm very, very excited is the point I'm making.
I need to actually get started on it because it's just like collecting dust for right now. But
It's
as soon
so
as I
good.
do, I will be screaming with you guys, I promise.
It's
Awesome.
I know.
Perfect.
It's so good. It's so worth it. So yeah, carry on. Sorry.
So the next one is... it looks alright. We saw a trailer for Days Gone, and not a trailer for The Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah.
That's the one that really
weird.
gets me.
Yeah, I don't understand why we haven't seen The Last of Us 2. They needed something. I guess that's part of why Sony's conference, despite having a lot going on, fell flat for a lot of people, is that the games that should have been there, kind of like with Bethesda, the games that should have been there weren't there. There was no Death Stranding. There was no The Last of Us 2. All of these games everybody was expecting to see. There was barely anything from Square Enix, and, Square Enix is in some pretty fucking dire straits, even if Final Fantasy 15 was actually a success. All of these things come together, and they just kind of had everything we were expecting, they just didn't have. And so even if it was a good conference, it still somehow ended up falling flat, and part of it was that nobody cares about Days Gone.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Days Gone.
When The Last of Us exists, no one cares about... The only thing that they showed that was cool about Days Gone, and all of us kind of commented on it, was breaking that barrier down to sick the horde on that group.
My only concern is, I don't know how mutable the world is actually going to be. How much of that was a bullshot,
Yeah, how many times are you actually going to do that in-game,
How destructible are those environments actually going to be? Am I going to be able to do that to any wall around any compound? I doubt it.
Yeah, or is it here is the situation in the game where you have to trigger the zombie horde to move on?
Right. Or, things like that. Or is it going to be only designated walls that you can blow up, which is like any other video game? You're not doing anything new.
And then we also all marked out at Zombie Bear.
Zombie Bear was pretty good. Zombie Bear was something I wasn't expecting because I have not seen any zombie animals in other zombie games.
I've never seen a zombie game touch on cross-species shit. So that was nice.
That's kind of interesting.
While we were listening to all of this, I remember somebody brought up either Dragon Age Origins or just the idea of dwarf zombies, and we got really hype over
Oh yeah,
because we were talking
really
about a medieval zombie game where you have to fight zombie elves and zombie dwarves and stuff like that, which would be really cool and would be way more interesting than Days Gone.
Because Days Gone looks so by the numbers now that I really don't care.
Yeah.
I just want a period piece zombie game at this point. All of this modern shooter stuff is really boring.
We got Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Redemption, which is really cool. I want to see.
Really did.
I want to see one set in I want to see the actual Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, but played straight.
Please, that would be awesome. American Revolution zombies.
Yes.
How
Mary
cool
Shelley's
would that be?
Frankenstein's horde.
Yes. There.
Perfect. Wait, all of these concepts are better than what we have with Days Gone, which is just a bunch of meh.
Yeah,
Everyone, pay us to make video games.
Or to just spitball video game ideas. So yeah, next.
So they also obligatory showed a bunch of VR stuff.
Do we even have to talk about it? Because all of it is just kind of meh.
There are two that I thought looked really interesting. I thought
right.
Moss looked interesting.
It's cute. Looks like it looked like Redwall, which is pretty true.
But the thing with Moss is I think that it could also just be a regular platform, puzzle platformer, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
I don't see why the VR is necessary. Now, the only other one that I saw there that I thought the VR is necessary, and strange enough, it is the first VR game that actually has me interested in VR.
Oh my god, I know what you're about to say.
And that is Final Fantasy Fishing.
I know. Of all the fucking things.
Like, in all honesty, like a VR fishing game set in the Final Fantasy world, I'm like, yeah, I would give that a shot.
It's so bizarre.
I think
It's
VR
so
games
bizarre.
need to take the approach 90s video games did, which is just kind of punch your suspension of disbelief as hard as you can with some really wacky concepts, because that's the only reason you're going to be able to like really draw people in.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to play Skyrim that much because people know what Skyrim is.
Right.
And people know what to expect out of a Skyrim, which is it's Lord of the Rings, but they're zombies.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I follow, on Tumblr. I have a bunch of friends who are all into Final Fantasy 15, and as much fun as the fishing looks, the general concept is that Final Fantasy 15 is still kind of unfinished. Like, it's missing a third of its plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's missing like a whole third of its plot, and they're like, let's make a fishing game. Do you guys have time to make a fishing game? Don't you need to be finishing your like Final Fantasy game? So yeah, as cool as it is as cool of an idea as it is, there we go. Don't you guys need to be finishing Final Fantasy 15? Maybe give Luna like an actual role in the game? Stuff
Yeah,
like that. Be kind of nice. Yikes.
No, but VR.
Square Enix. We need to have a whole. We need to have a whole podcast about how Square Enix has imploded.
That'll be a 3-parter, I think.
That's a big thing.
So actually, that's one of the next points I have is about them.
Oh, really?
This is not so much about the game, but about something that was related to it. We saw the trailer for the Life is Strange prequel.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't care about Life is Strange.
I don't give a shit
I'm
about
so
Life is
mad
Strange.
it's taking place like in my fucking city.
But
Sorry.
what I do want to bring up, because this is kind of like overall for E3, and it's going to affect like things in the future now.
Right.
So the trailer came out, and people noted, hey, that's not Ashley Birch.
Oh, yeah.
So on Twitter, she flat out said that no, she's not reprising her role in Life is Strange. And she is explicitly doing it because of the voice actor strike.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And so what's kind of interesting about this is that, like, this is the first time that, like, a big game... the first time I've heard of it, at least, where, like, a big game is like, hey, our production is being hindered by the voice actor strike. Because the voice actor strike...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, the voice actor strike affected games, like, I think after, like, a certain date in 2015, like, if you started development after that date... They would not do it, but like if it was in production beforehand, you were good.
Actually, not Beyond Good and Evil. The other one, The Evil Within 2 is being affected by the voice actor strike because Yuri Lowenthal originally played Joseph Oda in.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
None of the original voice actors for The Evil Within are coming back for The Evil Within 2 because of the strike.
Right.
So so this is like the first like year that games are actually going to be hindered by it. Mm-hmm. And like maybe that might even be why the Uncharted doesn't have Nathan Drake in it.
But
he doesn't support the strike. He's not in favor of the strike.
Yeah, and I was gonna point out like they ended it with 4 because like I cannot remember the name of the writer who was like involved with it. She was just like, yeah, I don't really
Amy Hennig.
I'm not really
Amy Hennig. She went on to greener pastures. She is working at EA now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, right, she basically went, hey, if you guys are going to work on other stuff, I have like a bunch of story scripts, and she just left a bunch of papers for other characters for spin-offs.
Okay. All right. Well, so people are also I saw a tweet on, I don't remember who exactly made it, said that perhaps one of the reasons that Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake are taking so long is because they might be affected by the voice actor strike, which...
Maybe.
I don't know, because we saw a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2013.
Yeah.
So that at least has been in production since then.
It may have been in development, but it may not have been like they started working on voice acting until pretty recently.
I think the strike only affects games like in general production, like general development after 2015. So like anything before then is still in there. But like I don't know the details of it. All I know is that we're going to start seeing a dropout of a lot of, and I don't know how into it you are, Othar, but I know Sarah and I mark out a lot at voice actors.
Yeah, we're pretty big voice actor fans, so
like, you know, it's going to be weird not seeing like names like Yuri Lowenthal attached to projects anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, Yuri Lowenthal's obviously found work, and we'll get to that later. Yeah. And it's an interesting kind of thing to see happening. And I kind of wonder about the developments now and kind of what's going to happen to future titles. Like, again, like The Evil Within 2 and stuff like that, they're getting different voices, basically strike breakers.
You know, and I know that, like, a lot of people, like, I personally don't care about Life is Strange, and I personally have no happy feelings towards the Birch siblings.
Right.
But I do know that a lot of people are really, really bummed out that she's not Chloe, to the point where they're not going to buy the game.
That's an interesting thing to, you know, again, these are developments, that's what they want. That's kind of what the guild wants, is to see, you know, people like
they do carry weight.
Yeah, because those characters' voices do matter to a lot of people, and so I know a lot of people won't be happy if Joseph Oda goes back to, you know, The Evil Within 2, and he's not played by Yuri Lowenthal, which was a big deal to a lot of people. That could have an effect on things. We'll see.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, diehard fans are kind of what carry certain franchises, and I think, I mean, The Evil Within 2 exists because of a pretty rabid fan base that otherwise, you know, wouldn't have been able to carry just a C-grade survival horror game to sequeldom. So we'll see. And the same thing applies for Life is Strange. So we don't know. I do know that FF7 wasn't there because Square Enix is completely... I can't resist the urge to shit-talk Square Enix. I'm sorry. But Square Enix has completely and totally lost control of their development cycles. They don't know what they're doing anymore. They've just swapped. They have literally, years now into development, they have swapped from an external team working on the FF7 remake. They've switched it over to internal now. So that's insane.
That
means they're probably going to scrap a ton of stuff and start from square one.
What I've officially, like, I was talking to a coworker of mine about it, and like mid conversation, I leaned over to the other side of, this game's not going to come out.
This game's not coming out. I don't think
I was mid sentence of like, yeah, it's having delays, and I was going to say like, but I think it's going to hit eventually. And like, it has issues, but no, game's not going to come out.
It's not going to come out. No, I mean, at this point, I've said it a few times already. On this podcast, I say it a lot when I'm talking to people out in the real world. I think Tetsuya Nomura needs to be fired ASAP. Because everything Tetsuya Nomura puts his hands on turns to shit. And I know you like Kingdom Hearts. And I know you like Nomura. And I do. I like his design sense. I think
he should be a designer, and I think he should be a writer. I think he should not be directing things anymore.
He does not. He either needs to be fired or he needs to be removed from a director's position ASAP. Because
his character designs are fine, and his writing style is fine. But like putting him in charge of things is a recipe for delays and delays and delays and delays. And yes, the end product will be good, but you can make it good and put it out faster.
It can be put out in a timely manner. That's why Kingdom Hearts 3 is taking so long. It's why FF15 took so long. I think they eventually had to... He left the team, and they gave it to Tabata instead. And sure enough, FF15 is unfinished, but Tabata got the game out.
Yeah.
You know, Nomura has got his hands on the FF7 remake, and it's not... At this point, unless something changes ASAP, again, firing Nomura... comes to mind. FF7 Remake is not coming out. Ever. And I've said before that basically if Square Enix pulls the trigger and announces an FF7 Remake and then it never comes out, that is the death of Square Enix as we know it. So if they do inevitably cancel the FF7 remake, that is basically Square Enix digging their own grave and hopping in and asking us to shovel the dirt on top of them. Because that was their big seller. It was their big hype machine. If they cannot deliver on what is basically the game everybody has been waiting for 20 years, knowing that it would it would shovel consoles out the door, it would get hundreds, it would definitely hit the 10, 15, 20 million sales mark without trying. You know, if they can't manage that, then Square Enix as a game development company has basically failed.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of a tangent to go off of, but
yeah. But it's important to say, like, it's not good for them. And, like, yeah, because they weren't there and they should have been there.
It was bad. It's really bad optics.
Now, we did get a Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, like, 2 days before E3.
Right.
But they should have shown that trailer again.
And there's still no release date.
Yeah.
Which is
now we are getting
deal.
news in July, but who knows what that will lead to.
I don't believe it'll be a release date unless something happens.
Kingdom Hearts is getting released for the VR.
and then I just walk into the ocean and you never see me again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, right. Boy, that was a tangent. Sorry.
You know what? Let's talk about something that looks really good, though. Let's clean our palates with that.
Oh, boy.
Hey, fucking Monster Hunter World looks really good!
Monster Hunter World looks really, really good! What the hell?
Because, like, I don't think between the three of us, have any of us actually played a Monster Hunter?
No.
I have.
Okay.
Really?
So, like, but yeah, even you were like, I never played them, and I've always been like, Monster Hunter is a cool thing, and it's not my thing because I don't really like hunting games, and I've played Future, or what's it? Freedom Wars. And that is a hunting game, and like they're cool, and I appreciate that they have a very dedicated fan base, but it's never been something that like clicked with me directly.
Right.
And, like it's one of those things where like I'm not against it. It is not my thing, and I'm really happy that fans continue to have good quality games.
Right.
Then I saw this trailer, and I am in.
I am so in. It looks like a lot of fun, and it has a lot of really, like, the grappling hook mechanic and all these new ways to kind of move around the environment all look like a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is a very... It looks like a new kind of twist on the series, and it looks so different from kind of what I picture Monster Hunter looking like in my head that I didn't think it was Monster Hunter at first. We spent the whole trailer when it was playing going, what is this? Literally,
like we were like,
every 5 seconds we're all going, what is this?
We were like, I feel like I should know what this is.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're showing, like, shots that are like, Yeah. But, like, to us, we're like, I'm sorry, I don't know.
I think one of us even said, like, is this Monster Hunter? And then another one of us was like, no, this can't be Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter doesn't look like this. Surprise! Yeah. It's Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World looks like a lot of fun. It actually looks really cool. So yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up for sure.
Yeah, totally. And then we'll go back to garbage. Why not?
Boy.
I put this on here because I have a lot to say about it. I'll try to keep it brief.
Oh boy.
But, holy fuck, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite looks like trash.
You poor son of a bitch.
Bad.
I, like...
Do it, Ben!
Okay.
Get all that evil out, dude!
Alright,
We're here for you.
I know this is not the the complete roster, but mother of fuck, this roster looks god-awful.
It's pretty bad.
There are, like, 6 new characters announced for it so far. There is X, Captain Marvel, Black Panther,
Gamora,
Ultron, Sigma, and Thanos. And Gamora.
Yeah.
So 7. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 had 32 new characters, okay?
Yeah.
32 new characters!
Yeah.
And
bad.
Not only does the game look fucking awful,
it's
like
hideous.
visually,
the models are awful.
It looks like hot garbage.
It looks like plastic. It looks like cheap plastic knockoff versions of the characters.
considering how good Street Fighter V ended up looking and how good, like, Street Fighter or Marvel's Capcom 3 looks, there's no excuse for this.
Yeah.
There's no reason why these characters should look this bad. And so here's like, not even beyond that, I would give that a pass because King of Fighters turned out to play really well, and no one cares about the graphics for that one anymore because it's a fighting game. As long as it plays really well, that's fine. As long as it's exciting to look at, and characters and all that. The thing with Marvel vs. Capcom is MVC has always been about showing off cool characters to play as and are, like, obscure and, like, they've never leaned into, like, what's popular at the time. They've always leaned into what would be cool to play as.
Right.
And that's why Ultimate 3 had Rocket Raccoon. Because no one knew who Rocket Raccoon was, but he had a cool trap mechanic, and he could do cool things with that. Like, no one, like, the reason why Arthur made it into Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is because Ghosts and Goblins had been irrelevant for so long, but hey, guess what? It's Arthur! He's back!
Right.
It would, and now Rocket Raccoon exists in Marvel in Infinite because Guardians has 2 movies.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Literally every character we've seen in MVC on the Marvel side has been in a movie. Or will be in a movie. Captain Marvel will be in a movie.
This is just a way to sell tickets to Disney movies.
Yeah. Like, Doctor Strange... Doctor Strange was in Ultimate because Doctor Strange had cool magic mechanics, and literally he had never been in a fighting game or been in the mainstream in forever. He had never been a popular character. But he'd always been, like, cult classic popular, and he had cool magic gimmicks so you could set up traps with. He's in because he has a movie.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that there's, like, no X-Men, like, to be seen anywhere.
Cutting the removal of Wolverine, Magneto, and Doom are going to kill this game.
Yeah.
Because the top tier players for Marvel play Wolverine, Magneto, and Doom.
Yeah. Marvel vs. Capcom without Wolverine is not a Marvel vs. Capcom game, and I don't even play these games.
Out of all, even going back to Street Fighter vs. X-Men, Wolverine has been in every single game.
Yeah.
Every single one. Because it's not the versus screen of Ryu versus, like, opponent. It's always been Wolverine.
Yeah.
You have Ryu on one side and Wolverine on the other. They've always
Wolverine
been, like, the rival.
is the Ryu equivalent of the Marvel Comics universe.
Yeah.
He's like the cool fighty guy that everybody likes, even if you don't want to admit to it.
Yeah, so the removal of him is going to hurt this game because so many top tier players for Marvel have Wolverine on their roster.
Yeah.
It's not going to sell to them. It's not going to cater to the fighting game community because Dragon Ball Z exists now. So we can get our Hyper Fighter in now. We don't need Marvel vs. Capcom. And the other thing that's, like, completely baffling to me is that they're showing all these characters. Spider-Man hasn't been shown yet.
Yeah.
That's,
I wonder why.
Yeah. Like, it's so blatant that they're using Infinite to promote the movies now. Considering, especially the fact that almost all the characters are now using their movie designs. Cap's got the armored look to him now. Hawkeye has the sunglasses and no dorky helmet.
Yep.
Like, for whatever reason, Gamora is based on her comic appearance, but no one else.
Yeah.
It's so
egregious.
It's so egregious that they're using this to promote the movies.
Yeah.
And the removal of, like, not even just Wolverine and Doom and Magneto, but also removal of, like, Deadpool.
Yeah.
Who was like Marvel insisted on putting in 3 because there was an issue where they released a list of, like, here are the characters that you're allowed to use for Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel sent a list of Capcom, like, here's the list. And Capcom went, oh, is there a reason Deadpool isn't on this list? And Marvel went, holy shit, that's a mistake. Put Deadpool in the game.
Because Deadpool is awesome, and everybody likes Deadpool.
He perfectly fits with the aesthetic of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Exactly. He is exactly the kind of character you want to play as in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, because he's kind of like a weird toes the line of, like, a Marvel character and a Capcom character, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, to remove it, it's so obvious that they're just there to promote specifically the MCU movies. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not to promote like Marvel Comics movies, because then the fucking X-Men would be in it, and Deadpool would be in it, and Spider-Man would be announced for it. But right now, all of those licenses are still owned by Fox and Sony. That's all it is. Is that this is just one big shitty looking ad for the MCU, and all it does is make me want to stay even further the fuck away from the MCU.
Yeah, it's like I've always been like really like, for one thing I've always wondered about is that like everything about Marvel right now, all their promotions and all their like promotional material and side material is for the movies now.
Right.
If you want to buy a Marvel shirt in a store, it'll have the movie characters on it.
Yeah.
It will. Maybe they won't be in their movie appearances, but it'll be the movie characters.
Yeah, Avengers t-shirts are, if they're using the comic book designs, those t-shirts still have the Avengers as the movie universe knows them, you know?
So. The 6 from the movies, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so, it's so blatant, and like, the one thing I held on to is because the MCU kind of started appearing like around Marvel vs. Capcom, or not, yeah, the MCU started appearing around Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Like, that's when it started picking up, and I always thought, like, I'm really glad that, you know, as much as I love the movies, I'm really glad that Marvel vs. Capcom is really heavy into classic comic appearances. Like, you're gonna get
really
Hawkeye in his
goofy.
dumb purple helmet. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Cap's going to wear the wings on the side of his hat. Like,
Right.
they're gonna look like their comic book selves. The most, like, if Luke Cage were in this game, he'd be wearing the yellow shirt and the tiara.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And now it's just so blatant that they're curbing off the movies, and not only that, but also how completely uninspired the Capcom side is. Out of all those characters listed, there's only one new character on the Capcom side.
Yeah, and here's my complaint here. I really love that they brought in X. I'm really mad that they didn't make him like the Mega Man Zero design.
Yeah.
Like, well, the thing is, we're getting X, and then,
like,
but wait, hold on, Zero is also here.
Yeah.
sure, okay, I love X and Zero. They're like my favorite gay robots. They deserve happiness. But like, as a competitive fighting game, you should be using Mega Man Zero's like own video games and design. Because like he plays as an insane berserker as opposed to like an X clone.
Right.
Yeah. What it should have been is they should have made his command mission. I like that they're putting his command mission outfit in. That should have been his default appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because it would have been at least something unique about him, and it's just like
I just really wanted Zero in tights. Yeah, let's be real.
As much as X is like finally like they're putting X in, like it's the most obvious and uninspired choice for a Capcom side.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so.
And how about how fucking ugly that Dante model looks? What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Sorry, I needed my dog in this fight is definitely the Devil May Cry series, because boy, I love Devil May Cry.
Absolutely.
And boy, has Capcom done Devil May Cry real dirty the last few years.
Dante dirty.
Done Dante real dirty. I'm not cool with that. So, boy, that Dante model is real fucking ugly. And you should be ashamed of yourselves, Capcom. I mean, literally 100%. You should be ashamed of yourself. Somebody needs to be fired for how ugly the models in these games
I just want my hot leather-clad Zero. Also, like his fucking like moveset, because that would be absolutely perfect for Marvel vs. Capcom.
Well, this game is so fucking ugly.
Yeah.
Yes.
They all look just. God, they don't look finished.
Chun-Li's teeny tiny head in that trailer, I thought I was gonna die laughing. Her head is like teeny tiny.
What really
She's got
bothered
Bayonetta
me,
proportions.
Yeah.
What really bothered me more than that is like the weird like shininess to her outfit that makes it look like really, really fake, like aluminum foil almost
Instead of like silken.
Yeah, and I'm just like it doesn't look good, and
It doesn't.
The only thing that has me like remotely excited about this is the story mode.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is cool because, you know, that's the popular thing now, and you know, Mortal Kombat did it really well, and Street Fighter did it kind of okay, and it would be cool to see like a story mode with a bunch of superheroes gathered together. Yep. But I'm gonna watch that on YouTube. I'm not going to buy for this game.
Right. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you feel better?
I feel much better. Let's talk about something really good.
Rest in peace, Mega Man.
Yeah.
Rip versus
yeah.
Capcom.
Rip in peace, Dante and Mega Man.
No.
This will be your death knell.
Okay, give me something good. Give me some good news.
Shadow of the Colossus!
Shadow of the Colossus! Holy shit! Talk about a game I was not expecting at all! Oh my god!
Mm-hmm.
That was probably my favorite part of watching this whole press conference with you guys, was you two going, "What is this?" And I went, "This is Shadow of the Colossus!"
And then us screaming afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I know what Shadow of the Colossus looks like, and I know what that shrine looks like, and as soon as I saw that shrine, I just could feel it in my bones. Like, this is Shadow of the Colossus. And it's a real, proper, honest to God, not an HD remake, but a real, for realsies, actual HD version. Oh my god, it looks so good.
Built from the ground up.
From the ground up. Oh my god.
Like, this isn't just a nice reskinning. This is, we put in the work and we redid all the models and all the landscapes.
It looks so good. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just want to know, I want to know the depth of the rebuilt from the ground up, because there's a lot of really interesting cut content in Shadow of the Colossus. If you want to, like, hear about, like, the weird, creepy, because sometimes cut content kind of has, like, a weird haunted aspect to it. I don't know how to explain it beyond
absolutely.
that. Shadow of the Colossus is packed to the brim with weird, haunted cut content. And I'm hoping some of that gets to come back, because there's allusions in the content to whole colossi that were cut from the game. So I wonder if they get to come back. I don't know. I'm just really excited.
I think they've confirmed that it is, like, they're not adding anything.
No!
Or they either that or they're not doing a DLC model for it.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means. I mean,
I don't know. I hope they add some new shit, because otherwise I can just play the remake, the HD remake version that we got for the PS3 that was really good too, because it's just the game. If they don't add anything new, then I'm probably not going to buy it, as beautiful as it looks. But if there's new shit, then I'm totally on board.
What's so nice about it is that, like, it's a very good way to get games like this, like, back into new hands,
Yeah.
Because, like, I do like this idea of, like, cult classic games like that are, like, very, like, they're highly regarded, but they never hit the mainstream.
Yeah.
Getting, like, a second chance to be put into new hands that have never experienced it before.
For sure, but Shadow of the Colossus did sell like gangbusters, but I any excuse to tell people to play Shadow of the Colossus again is perfectly fine by me.
Because people are now like, well, people, now you can say that to them and they'll be like, but I don't have a PS2. Well, it's on the PS4 now!
It's on the PS3 as well,
yeah.
So, but please, just play Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor, it's such a good game. The only way you could possibly make this announcement better is if you also remade Ico from the ground up. Mm-hmm. In which case I would actually explode into sparkles and die.
It would not be a surprise, like, in 2 months from now, to see an Ico remastered trailer.
Right? And they just bundle it like they did with the other version. That would be... Yep. You would... this podcast would be over because I would be dead from happiness because I love Ico that much. I love Shadow of the Colossus, but Ico just has something really special about it. So yeah, holy shit, Shadow... And it looks so beautiful.
It looks so good.
It looks so beautiful.
Looks really nice.
They're so huge. It's amazing. I love Shadow of the Colossus. I'm so excited for this one. So okay, I'm good.
And then we'll go back to trash, but this is trash I can laugh about.
Oh boy.
Because hey, Detroit deserves so much better than this.
David Cage, leave the city of Detroit alone. Hasn't it suffered enough?
Boy, could that trailer be any more lukewarm?
Man, somebody's got to do something to put a fucking bullet in Cage's head.
Oh my god, somebody stop this French man!
Could you think of any, like, a more pure distillation of every single cliche of this exact story?
Oh my god.
Wrapped into one trailer?
How about, hey guys, it's a black robot singing a song about freedom. Do you get it? Do you get it? Othar, do you get it?
What was the joke?
Exactly.
Or the part where he's like, yes, all the robots, they are now you are free to choose to do whatever you'd like. And they're like, we'll follow you, glorious leader.
Glorious, very explicitly human looking and human sounding and human
certainly not
inciting.
actually a robot.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You can be free to make your own decisions. We choose to do what you say.
How about the whole fucking thing where it's like, you can choose to be peaceful protesters, or you can choose to, like, you know, liberate these things from slavery, but you're a bad person if you, set a few stores on fire? Come on, guys. Maybe go a little bit deeper with your like, fable here. Come on. The city of Detroit deserves better than this. I've been to Detroit several times. It doesn't deserve this.
Here's the thing. That doesn't even fucking look anything like Detroit.
It doesn't! There's nothing in that trailer that looked like Detroit, the city.
It could be like anywhere.
It just looks like any generic American futuristic city place.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
it looks like Future
special.
Town.
Yeah, it's just Future City. Like, there's nothing Detroit about it. Like, fucking, if you want to play a game that's about futuristic Detroit, go play Human Revolution, for God's sakes. Because it did it better. Which actually does feel like Detroit in there. I should know. I've been there. It's so...
Wait, have you been?
I live in Michigan.
I know. Ben, I know.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But it's like I have physically been to the city of Detroit, and I am just like, there is nothing in Detroit, the shitty David Cage game, that looks like the actual city whatsoever. It just kind of looks like a generic fancy future town. Boy, oh boy.
Can we also, like, mention, I just want to mention that, like, I have such a hard time saying Detroit being human, because it sounds so goddamn similar to Beyond Two Souls.
Oh my god. No!
It does, don't it?
No!
Right?
That's
like,
how I
want
know
to
I'm
say,
gonna hate it!
Detroit Beyond Human, but no, that's not right. It's being human.
It's not good.
Oh,
it's gonna be but it's gonna be, I can't wait. Boy, I'm so glad that they announced another Two Best Friends playthrough at E3.
The Sadness Quadrilogy is now a quintilogy.
I can't wait for everybody to purchase this game and be sorely disappointed.
And it's gonna sell. I hate that I'm saying this because it makes me want to, like, throw up and or drink acid. But it's gonna sell just great because people are the worst and I hate video games.
So you know what was also really interesting about this trailer?
What?
You didn't see Kara at all.
Oh yeah, they completely removed the fucking tech demo chick from it now.
Yeah.
So, like,
because she was in the other trailer we saw, like, last year, I think.
Yeah, and they removed what's his face, the cop guy. So is
the detective.
Did they just change it all to be about, like, this, like, revolutionary dude?
Do you think this is going to be like BioShock Infinite, and there's going to be like 6 or 7 like builds of different games inside of it?
Oh man,
you might be right.
Is.
Like, I would honestly not be surprised if, considering I've seen, like, what Omicron is like.
Yeah.
Like, I would not be surprised if this game, like, David Cage has rolled up to the studio several times and been like, scrap it all, I've got a new idea!
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what's gonna happen.
That is probably exactly what it is. Oh my god.
Oh,
that sounds like a disaster.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear about this train wreck, guys. I'm excited. Oh, it's so bad. Fuck. Okay.
Oh my god. Yeah, so, then after that, we had our other obligatory trailer, Dad of War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, sure, looks kind of Dark Soulsian, kind of fun.
It is a very different game than the previous God of Wars, I can tell that much. And the axe, the homing axe is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. The kid character actually doesn't look insufferable, so good for them.
I like that you can kind of play as this kid. I like that there are tutorials that are based on you, like, teaching the kid how to play, but he's not an escort character the entire game.
Yeah.
That's good.
I also really, really like that having the kid around is, like, they made it a point to mention a few times in that trailer that, like, Kratos will not be alone in this, and that, like, the last, like, that big snake dragon thing that you meet at the end.
The Dark Souls monster?
Yeah, that trailer ends with he wants to help.
Yeah.
Which is, like, really?
Yeah, instead of it being
Yeah.
about killing giant monsters, that's kind of an interesting concept for sure.
That's that got me interested a little bit, because one thing I've always disliked about God of War is like, I know that's the point of it, but like, dude, everything that happens to Kratos is his own fault because he never talks to anyone and he decides to just kill them instead.
You're so right, though, because I have played God of War. That's basically the whole point, is that Kratos is kind of an asshole. So, yeah. But other than that, I really don't have a lot of opinions about the game, because for one, it's another goddamn open world game, and I only have so much time. And again, if I wanted to play an open world game about, like, exploring the wilderness and stuff, I'll just go play Horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, guys. Horizon does it better, and I like Aloy more than Kratos. Whoop.
Yep. That one's not hard, though.
That one's not hard. Aloy is a lot more charming. So, other than that, I have not... Meh.
Well, we also have one more open world game to talk about.
Are you excited, Ben?
Oh my god.
Are you excited, Ben?
Oh man.
Are you ready?
Spider-Man for the PS4 looks really, really, really good. Everyone in the audience, I wish they could have heard me, the entire 8-minute trailer. I know these two must be so fucking irritated with me by the end of it.
It was entertaining listening to listening to Ben scream.
I was marking out at literally everything that happened in the trailer.
It was all shit that you can see in you could do in Arkham City, and he was screaming. It was so good.
I was completely unashamedly verbally losing my shit in the highest way possible at everything.
I guarantee you, people in that theater heard something very high pitched, and they went, "Wait, what the fuck was that?" And it was you, my friend.
Yep,
because that's how exciting the Spider-Man game is. And honest to God, I will probably play this game because it looks really good. I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, like genuine fun. It's bright and colorful. It's action packed. It's open world, and the swinging is the good swinging.
It's
from
the
Spider-Man
good web
2.
swinging. The combat is very, very blatantly like pulling from Arkham, but in a really good way, because the Arkham combat is great, and the stealth approach and the sneaking around rooftops and like ledges and stuff is absolutely perfect for Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man as a stealth hero. Like, it's a cool idea.
Because
he is a Spider-Man.
Yeah, he is a predator. Spider-Man is a predator. Spiders are predators. I love whenever Spider-Man does that approach where he remembers spiders are predators. There's a really great moment in one of the comics where he's chasing after the chameleon.
Piss at everybody. Yeah, I remember that one.
He's chasing the chameleon, and the chameleon breaks into this little abandoned manor type area, and it's pitch black outside, and he's freaking out, and he's trying to catch his breath, and in the corner of some panels you can see his Spider-Man's eyes in the shadows.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And he's there's no sound besides Chameleon's breathing, and then hands just burst through the wall and pull him through.
That's so cool. See, that's exactly what I want in a Spider-Man game, is to kind of have this really action-packed but still kind of stealthy, sneaky sneaks approach, because it is an interesting concept, and the game itself looks so fucking pretty.
They
also,
Insomniac.
I was gonna say.
Go ahead, Yothar, first.
I really like that he's sassy.
Oh yeah, he's great to have him be funny.
Sassy. Yeah.
It's a lot funner than Batman, where Batman just doesn't talk the entire time.
Right.
And I love there are so many little moments now. Insomniac already confirmed they had a really good write-up article. I think it was on Polygon or Kotaku, where it's little tidbits about it, and one of them is really cool. Is that Spider-Man can't kill anyone.
That is awesome.
If you're fighting on a ledge and you uppercut a guy, Spider-Man has commands where he automatically webs the guy over, or he'll do a thing where he spins around to put his back to the ledge, and he'll punch the guy towards closer to the center of the rooftop.
That's pretty cool. Cool.
Arkham did something similar to that, which was really cool, and but with Spider-Man you have way more freedom of just webs and all that. And I think that's really cool. they had that moment in the trailer. It was a quick time event, but like they had that moment where it's him running along the collapsing crane and like webbing it to the building, and I watched that and I realized that's such a superhero moment.
It's such a superhero thing. I love the bit because it was such an obvious callback to the old before 9/11 trailer for Spider-Man 1, the movie, where he webs the helicopter between the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm. The bit at the end of the trailer where he webs the falling helicopter, like, all I could think of was that moment. It was such an obvious callback to that trailer. And I loved it. It's such a smart way to kind of say, like, hey, we know what Spider-Man is about.
What it does is, like, it's quick time events. People are, like, disparaging it, like, it's quick time events, you know, it's like, it's all generated, stuff like that. And I understand that, but to me, as a Spider-Man fan, that shows that they really, Insomniac knows what makes Spider-Man good. And, like, showing him, like, not just chasing the helicopter, because that's a great action scene on its own, but, like, making sure that no one gets hurt from the collateral damage of that is what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man.
Right, like, that is the defining thing of Spider-Man, and to have that is so, like, integral, and it's such a good way to show that Insomniac understands the property, which, if you are a huge Spider-Man fan, and Ben is, I'm not, like, you want that. You want to know that the people making this game understand this property that means a lot to you. Because that is a huge way to build buyer confidence and helps spread word of mouth. Because, you know, obviously now at least one of us is losing their minds about it and will tell everybody they know about it. Like, you want that, for sure.
And then, like, so the combat looks great. The web swing is they've already confirmed it's momentum based. They're doing a whole bunch of cool stuff with it.
It's colorful. It's so
bright. It's pretty. Like, the sun is out. You know, the city's
bright
lit up.
Blue skies.
I love that costume design. I think
so
it looks
good.
Great.
Oh man,
I think
have
adding
people been
the white to
it?
Yeah, I think adding the white to it really makes it stand out even more.
Well, because
really
it
makes
helps,
it pop, like, when you're moving around.
Yeah, exactly. You want, especially for a video game character, you want to be able to see your character at all times, and the red and blue is eye-catching, but because this is a video game where we now have bright blue skies and stuff, he could get lost. So yeah, the addition of the white highlights and stuff kind of helps make it more eye-catching and easy to follow where your character is on screen at any time. Yeah,
and also what fucking weird positions he's making because it's Spider-Man the Contortionist.
Right.
They've also Insomniac already, like, I think they put out a poll or just like a thing where it's like, hey, what costumes do you want to see in the new Spider-Man game? Which, you know, it's a standard for Spider-Man games to include a bunch of different outfits. So, like, you'll get your classic red and blue in there. So, you know, don't worry about it if you don't like it. The other really cool thing about this trailer is, of course, the very last thing that got shown at the Sony conference, which is just like, I like. They said they put that in there. They said they don't want to reveal what his part of the game is yet. They put him in there to show that this is not related to any other Spider-Man series right now.
Right.
It's not based on the movies, not based on the cartoons or the comics or anything like that. This is a separate universe that they're developing.
Right. I mean, that's so awesome. Shut up. It's so cool.
And, like, to me, that's just really cool. And, like, it shows that Marvel trusts Insomniac to do this and that they are willing to commit to their own project like this.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I mean, again, I don't like comics. I don't read them. I really don't care about the Marvel, cinematic universe. I'm still really excited for Spider-Man, the game, because it looks like fun, and it just looks like the kind of like an old-fashioned beat 'em up that with new game mechanics attached to it as well that you want your superhero games to be,
Yeah.
Like, after being completely bummed out by MVC, like, seeing this trailer, not only just seeing this trailer, but having Sony be like, here's our final, like, here's our star of the show.
Yeah.
Having it be, like, not just, not God of War, not Shadow of the Colossus, not Monster Hunter, it's Insomniac's Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
They had to make up for the fact that last year they had to go right before Death Stranding.
They had to follow Death Stranding, so, like, this is their apology for that.
We're so sorry we did that to you. Here, you can
Yeah.
have the show-stopping moment. It's so good.
Fucking Spider-Man last year.
No, poor Spider-Man. But
more than made up for it. Like, it looks great. I'm really excited to hear and see more. I'm going to follow this game like no other.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. It's you. It's Spider-Man.
Yep. So, good job. Good job, Sony. I'm going to give you guys a B+.
B+ for sure.
For that. There were a lot of games that I was about. There was a lot of VR crap that I didn't care about. But, Shadow of the Colossus, Spider-Man, Uncharted, like, they showed stuff, and I'm in.
Yeah.
None of their they didn't have any weird technical accidents outside of the sound issue.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting a lot more, like the fucking the Days Gone zombies to like actually fall off the stage.
That would have been hilarious, though. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, because they had that cool like moment where they showed like the bodies hanging from the ceiling. Yeah.
That was a cool presentation because Sony is fucking loaded.
Yeah, they had the money to do it.
Spent millions on that. Jesus.
So, God.
So there's one more.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if you watched it at all, Sarah. I don't know if how much you watched of it, Othar.
I didn't watch it at all.
Yeah, but Nintendo announced.
Nintendo.
Things. They announced like a smattering of samples for you. No, Nintendo crushed it.
Yeah.
They were just
they barely did anything. Like I feel like everybody else spent like tens to hundreds of millions on their like presentation. Nintendo like made a fucking like college thesis on a like projector.
Nintendo put Reggie in front of a green screen. It's straight up. It is that GIF that gets shown every year of the Mario Party, where it's Luigi just sitting there on the ball, and then Microsoft and EA fling themselves off, and like Sony does a curve and then falls off the edge as well.
Reggie's
like,
face flashing in the background.
Yeah,
like, finish him.
Nintendo wins by doing nothing every year. It's like that meme. Who would win? Like 6 conferences with tens of billions of dollars put behind them, or a half-hour footage made by some intern.
Yeah.
First off, so we'll just go down the list again. New Yoshi, new Kirby.
Everybody loves those.
They both look like tons of fun. Like the Yoshi Woolly World thing. They have like a papercraft element to it now, like a doodle thing to it, and it looks really cute. I
like how with every like iteration of Yoshi, they just basically fuck around with the idea of scrapbooking. Basically, like ever since 64, it's just like let's just have a little bit of fun with like some weird art that we like.
It's a fun design, and I hope like we get another just like little comfy trailer, because like did you see the trailer when they first announced Woolly World where it's like we went to like a local yarn like place in Japan, and we talked to this like elderly man who was like a yarn craft expert, and he hand knitted. He showed us how to hand knit things, and it's like, oh, that's so cozy.
Yeah.
So, and then the new Kirby looks like all the best parts of 64 and Superstar in one.
Too bad that like the Kirby's Dream on 3 shit is just like cameos of the animals and stuff, like, playable, but that's okay. I get everything else.
Yeah, it's Kirby's always gonna be good. Pokemon on Switch.
Sure, alright, yeah, alright, like, fine, yeah, okay, like, sure.
Straight up,
alright.
Yeah. Like no not like a spin-off game, like the next core Pokemon RPG will be on Switch.
Thank God.
Yeah.
This basically means that like while the 3DS is definitely going to stay around for a long while, I'm pretty sure that's their last handheld.
Yeah, they're going to retire the Game Boy DS lineage is going to end with the 3DS, and they're just going to put out like they're going to give it one last hurrah. But like Pokemon going on Switch means that the mobile is dead.
Yeah, which is what they needed to do.
Because the Switch is mobile now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they needed to do. They needed to, after this new 2DS, they needed to kill the DS entirely and just focus entirely on the Switch, and that's what they're doing. Good job, Nintendo! Yep. You didn't fuck it up. Congratulations!
Yeah. So, and, I mean, we talked about how Beyond Good and Evil was jaw-dropping. Hey, you know what's even better than that? One word and a number.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I started screaming when I heard about that. Like, I was in the middle of my job, and I was watching like a presentation for it, and I heard the first like 4 notes of the song, and I just started like shrieking.
So I watched it at work, and my computer at work doesn't have sound on it. So I just I saw a black screen, and I saw a little circular symbol, and I'm like, huh,
that looks familiar.
That looks familiar. What is what? Ooh.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but hey, we know why another Metroid 2 remake got canceled.
Oh yeah.
Because they're putting out their own on the 3DS, and you know what would make Metroid better? What if Samus could parry?
Yeah. Yeah, not only can Samus parry, she can fucking, like... She gets in there with some massive, amazing melee punches, which I've always really wanted out of her.
Yeah. So that, you know, like, we've seen nothing of Metroid Prime 4, but hey, they're making it. It's gonna be on the Switch.
That's good enough for me.
Good.
It's probably gonna be like a Zelda, Twilight Princess, or Skyward Sword issue where we're not gonna hear about it for like another 3 years, but that's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fine.
And then Zelda DLC finally coming. We knew the details of that already, but you know I'm really excited to do the Trial of the Sword because that island in Breath of the Wild is like the best part of that game, I think.
I really liked it, but mostly because it was just a joke about Link's Awakening. Mm-hmm. Because you start off at the beach without a sword.
Yeah, and I mean...
Also, it's actually called Koholint Island if you, take a close enough look at the map.
That's true, yeah. So, but, the idea of doing a whole, trial of that is really cool to me, and I'm going to have a lot of fun playing that.
It's nice to know that we get to do the Pit of Trials again, because I always like that whenever we do it in a Zelda game. So, cool, alright, yeah, I'm good.
They also announced the next pack, the Champions...
Golden!
Yeah!
Enemies was really good. I've gotten to the point where, I can kill Lynels without really flinching, so I needed a new thing to kill.
And, of course, with that, they fed my shameful addiction. Reggie appeared to me in a trench coat, and he said, "Hey, kid, do you want to buy some amiibos?" And I went, "I do want to buy some amiibos." So I pre-ordered Rivali and Urbosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think Rivali's the coolest of the champions, and I'm pretty sure Urbosa will give me her sword and shield.
I love that Rivali, which is the character who's just Falco meets Shadow the Hedgehog, is your favorite.
I love him!
That's... Honestly, Ben, I thought you would have gone for somebody else.
No, I mean, I like all of them.
Because he's such a jerk, and that's not your thing.
But that's what I loved about him. I loved that, he was just so blatant about, you can't fly? Oh, well, aren't I special? I can fly. Can you fly? And
this is normally the kind of character he doesn't like. I love this.
But I loved it. I was just when he did it, I laughed so hard, because, everyone else has a good cutscene. Urbosa has a good one where Zelda's asleep on her shoulder, and she's like, you need to take care of Zelda, and, you need to teach her to rely on you. And Daruk has a great one where he's, being all boisterous, and he slaps Link on the back, and Link collapses in a heap, Yeah. And Mipha has the cute one where she heals him, and she tells him how to always depend on him. And Rivali's just look what I can fucking do.
You're not so fucking special, Link.
Yeah. Oh, you have a fancy sword? Well, you can't hit me with your fancy sword if I'm in the air. Yeah. I loved him. So I got that one, and I'm super happy with that.
Sarah, I can't believe this. I love that he found a new character to like.
I don't have a Switch, and I'm not a big Nintendo person in general, so I am just enjoying listening to you two, lose it about Switch games and Nintendo stuff. I think it's really funny. So yeah, continue. It's great. I think it's funny that Ben's favorite, amiibo in Breath of the Wild is the fucking asshole character, because it is such a change. So yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Link is my favorite character in the game.
Of course,
because I think this Link is the best Link they've ever He's almost he's 99% as good as Wind Waker Link, which is my absolute favorite Link.
Yeah.
I would die for Ocarina of Time Link.
I have 2 Wind Waker Link amiibos, and I have the little posable fake Wind Waker Link as well. I love Wind Waker Link design.
I feel
It's very cute.
This Breath of the Wild one is a very close second, and but yeah, Rivali is my favorite of the champions. I think he's
hilarious.
great.
That's amazing.
I know.
I fucking love this asshole bird.
I would have thought he would have went for Mipha. Like, I genuinely thought that's what he was gonna go for.
I want Urbosa to hold me in her big, strong arms.
Yeah.
We all do, especially
we all
Zelda.
do.
Especially Zelda. Especially Zelda.
I'm just like, I bought Rivali, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, I will also buy Urbosa. There was like a good 5 minutes where I'm like, all I want is Rivali. All I want is Rivali, because I know it's going to be hard to get the other ones.
I need it.
You know what? I should just get Urbosa now.
She's so beautiful. I just want her to
is.
hold me in her giant, strong Gerudo arms.
Man.
She does have like, I'll just say really briefly, she has one of the coolest moments ever where like she mentions that like, I heard that one of Ganon's incarnations, he was a Gerudo, and I take that as a personal offense. And I'm like, that was like, it's the way she says it, like it's a really cool line.
Right.
Because like Calamity Ganon fucks up everything, so like yeah, she would be pissed at Ganon.
Right, yeah.
So I just think that was really cool about her.
Yeah.
But Zelda, like, I can't wait to see what the Champion DLC actually is. So
Right.
Good job for making a rock solid Zelda game that I'll be playing until I die.
Because there's another fucking doing it. Jesus.
The fact that they've outright said that this is going to be the model for all of their Zelda games.
Oh, thank God!
Is very comforting because
Yes!
this means that I might get a Link's Awakening remake in this
Oh,
style.
that'd be great. So they also announced Fire Emblem Warriors, which I'm not.
It's Fire
digging.
Emblem. Let's just move on. It's the same one for the last 4 years in a row.
Well, the problem I have with it is that they already confirmed they're only putting characters from Shadow of the Dragon, which is Marth's game. They're pulling characters from Awakening and from Fates, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
just move on. There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. No Blazing Sword, no Sacred Stones, just
No Radiant Dawn.
Yeah, no Radiant Dawn, no Ike, no Roy, no Ephraim, no one. It is just those guys, and we haven't seen anyone besides the Lords, so I really don't care, because Chrom is not the most interesting character in Awakening.
Yeah.
So,
well.
Yeah. Oh, well. It was always just going to be a maybe purchase anyway. But, hey, there is a game that is the absolute fucking highlight of Nintendo and possibly E3 in general.
Which is?
Mario fucking Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting display.
This is the best gimmick to be in a Mario game.
This is the most terrifying one. What if this means Mario is just the hat? This entire time there's a poor plumber who is being usurped by his stupid hat.
No, because someone already said it. It's his stand, Men Without Hats.
God damn it.
I swear
God damn it, Ben.
God,
Alright,
Ben.
I'm done. Podcast is over. I'm gonna go and make some alcohol. We're fucking done. This podcast is over.
Yeah, come on, Sarah. You and me can fuck off.
The gorge is canceled. We're done. We're fucking done.
Someone
is that
already
a motherfucking JoJo's reference?
Someone already drew a picture of Mario being like, Mamma mia, it's an enemy stand!
Oh my god, no.
But, I mean, it looks... I mean, holy shit. This, the amount of stuff we've seen in the trailer that you can take control of, and the fact that they all have different mechanics to them is nuts.
Right.
That poor fucking civilian you just take over in New Donk City.
Mario's turning into some sort of horrible possession monster.
It's basically it's just the thing, except it's a hat. The hat.
Yeah. Just take control of something and it grows the little mustache and the hat, and the T-Rex with the little tiny hat and mustache.
That's pretty good. It was pretty good. I saw that.
Hilarious. And they brought back Pauline, which I did not see coming.
I mean, she's been a character. She's been a satellite character for a bunch of games since.
Yeah. But I mean, she hasn't even been in a party game for decades. And
yeah, that's true. She's only really been in Mario vs. Donkey Kong and in Game & Watch and stuff.
Yeah, but so it's cool to see her, and then she got to sing the song, which is really neat.
That's cute.
Yeah.
She's the mayor.
Yeah, she's the mayor of I still fucking love New Donk City.
Oh my god.
That's the best name ever.
They knew what was going to happen because of that.
Oh,
Jesus.
it just like everything about that game is just like super fucking feel good. Like it is the best looking Mario game since 64.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as much as I love Galaxy, as much as I love Sunshine, like they weren't as good as 64, and like this one just looks great.
I'll argue that Sunshine actually did a lot better than 64 in a lot of different regards. So, but I still think that Odyssey is definitely like taking everything that like we've seen so far and like taking it up quite a quite
Odyssey
a
is
lot.
the culmination of 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, and 3D World.
God, I love 3D World.
Yeah, like they're taking everything about it, and the fact that you can put Mario in different outfits looks really cute.
I'm excited for a lot of things, but I really kind of hope that the Koopalings show up because I'd really like a 3D game where you actually get to fight them.
I would like that too, but I think they're being replaced by the I think they're called the brutal shower.
Oh yeah,
like the brutal party, like they're like the 4 little bunnies.
That's right, because they have because the enemy team's a bridal because it's just a bunch of bridesmaids.
Yeah, they're all Peach is getting married, so like the wedding planners are your enemies, and they're four.
I'm so glad. Good for her. She finally needed to settle down.
I just love, and of course they're releasing amiibos where everyone's in their fancy tuxes and she's in her wedding dress and they look super cute, and I'm super tempted to get them just because they look great. I
like that all 3 of them can hold hands.
I did hear one thing that looks interesting, and that is that Mario Odyssey will be compatible with every single amiibo. So, I'm wondering...
No, I mean, okay, so it's probably going to be like how Breath of the Wild is actually compatible with every amiibo, and it just gives you random drops for anything that's not Mario related.
Oh, wait, really? You can just tap in any
amiibo you can tap in any. Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know that. I was just tapping my Zelda ones the whole time. I could get tons of fish.
Yep.
Jeez, I didn't know that. When I play Breath of the Wild next time, I'll just go on a spree.
Yep, all of them. Spree. That even includes, like, the Animal Crossing cards.
What about the Shovel Knight one?
I'm pretty sure that one will work.
Right,
it's just like a randomized drop of of either rupees, arrows, or I think it's like a monster item drops. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm betting like the Mario themed ones will probably give you like costumes or accessories and stuff like that. Like I'm betting tapping in Luigi will give you green overalls or whatever. But really this it looks like such an amazing game. Like, without a doubt, like, they've really shown off so much about this that just is super exciting and interesting.
You pop in Luigi, and Luigi's hat shows up, and you can take over as 2 different people.
Oh my god.
They did confirm co-op in some manner, so I don't know if it'll be like
it's Galaxy it's Galaxy style.
Okay.
I mean, they already had, like, gameplay, like, footage of it. It's just Galaxy style. The other person, like, takes control of, like, of another motion control remote and just kind of points at the screen.
Okay, well that's still something at least. That's I'm kind of glad that it's not like a Mario World 3D World co-op, because a open world game like this would not do that justice.
It would be really funny though.
Yeah.
It would be really... I mean, you could kind of make that work if you had somebody is carrying the Switch and then other person's watching the TV, because that's how it usually works.
Yeah. So there could be ways to do it, but I'm really happy that this game, they showed off as much as they did, and it all looks like tons. It looks great.
I'm very happy. I'm glad that everybody's getting to enjoy this, because I am going to really enjoy every moment that I get to see Bowser in a nice tux.
He looks really dapper.
He's so happy.
Oh, like his little top hat and everything.
I hope this means that he gets to talk again like in Sunshine, because that was the dumbest fucking shit.
Oh, I hope so too. Like, yeah, just they did that. We had
sounds
those
like
weird,
that fucking Donald Duck ass laugh.
Those weird voice acting bits in Sunshine.
Just so good. All right,
and he was also giant in Sunshine
for whatever reason.
Yeah, Bowser can be any size at any time, and it doesn't matter.
Just like Gamagori, I love him. That's my favorite Kill la Kill character.
So yeah, it was very good. Very good showing from Nintendo. Very good showing from Sony.
I give it an A- just because it was so short and they really didn't have a lot to show off.
Yeah, we didn't hear Reggie talk as much as I would like, because I love hearing Reggie talk.
And if they actually had information on Metroid Prime 4 beyond they're probably in really early alpha development, so that's why they're not talking about it.
I'm betting that game is a Word document right now.
Yeah, they really want to make sure people know that Metroid's not dead. Next year they're going to do the same for F-Zero, just going to blow everybody out the fucking water.
Did you see the post that was today we mourn the death of a comrade, our Douglas J. Falcon, who gave his life so his best friend Samus could get 2 games.
It's really good. My personal favorite is the one that's Captain Falcon saying, "Gee, Samus, how come Nintendo let you have 2 games?" And then Samus says, "They forgot my 25th birthday."
Yeah, my mom forgot my 25th birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, I love, because, everyone is saying, where's Metroid, where's Metroid, where's Metroid, and, Metroid Prime 4 in development. Here's here's, actual gameplay for Metroid 2, remake.
Oh, man, I cannot believe they're doing, I'm happy that they're doing a remake for 2, because that's out of all of the games, that one really needed it. It was really unplayable.
There was the 4chan post that was oh yeah, Metroid Prime 4, whatever. I guess 2D Metroid's dead forever. And there's just that huge string of comment, the number of times people have quoted that post. Oh, I loved it. Because that's the thing, media from Metroid Prime 4, it's okay, well, I guess they're not making a 2D Metroid ever again. And then, no, we are! It's like that scene in 30 Rock where he's got the pizza box. And the guy's I wanted waffles, and he opens it up, and there's waffles in the pizza box.
I don't own a Switch.
No, you don't.
I don't own a Switch.
I will happily murder the very next attempt at making a shipment here in Oregon.
Thanks.
So that you can hawk off as many of them as you want, including the one that was supposed to be meant for you.
I appreciate that.
For a fucking premium.
I appreciate that. But I won't have a Switch for a while. But either way, Nintendo still did have a bunch of good stuff, so, good for Nintendo fans?
Yeah, as always, Nintendo's conferences, even if they don't announce a lot, they're always just fun, and...
Right, yeah.
This and Bethesda Land, I really wish more companies would stop putting guys who don't do public speaking in front of an enormous audience.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we have Reggie Fils-Aimé, because Jesus, we need somebody who can do the fucking PR at a conference.
Yeah, Reggie is I mentioned this a while ago, but I think hearing Reggie talk is like getting a stern yet encouraging lecture from an authority figure.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're so right. It's a very
doesn't matter what Reggie's saying. It's always stern yet encouraging, even if it's
you can do it because Reggie believes in you. Reggie says you can do it, so you can do it. Damn it!
Believe in the Reggie who believes in you.
Yeah. Your body is ready.
Because Reggie says it is. Thanks, Reggie. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, I will be a little bit more hype for the Switch and owning a Switch when we get a little bit more details about Pokemon Switch and the Tails game and whatever the fuck Atlas is doing. Because, a lot of Nintendo's first-party franchises, there's my English, they're cool, they're fun, but I've never felt terribly oh my god, I have to have this Mario game. So, the people who like them, radical. You're about to have a great time. Me, I need a little bit more before I get really excited about a Switch. But Pokemon Switch is definitely something that has my attention because, God knows, we are finally getting a console Pokemon game. Thank you, God. Now, please, can we get some details about it?
Yeah, I mean, I think again, like Metroid, this
it's
exists
a Word
as
document.
a single page that says Pokemon game Switch.
Considering how quick they push this shit out, I don't think it'll take very long for Game Freak to get us one. So we're probably going to see. I'm sure the next Treehouse we're going to see beta footage.
I'm really hoping it's a return to XY, because I really like the setting in XY the most. Like, I like Pokemon France.
But boy, everything that happened in it.
Yeah. But I am excited because Sun and Moon, I haven't played Sun and Moon yet, but I like that Pokemon games now have a plot, so maybe they'll keep that thread going and go a little bit harder.
Man, you're gonna love Sun and Moon then.
I know. At some point, I'm getting a new 2DS, so eventually I will be able to play it. So, give it some time. But it'll happen. Someday, who knows when, but eventually. So, fuck yeah, E3, man.
E3, like, this, you know what? Ultimately, I think it was a good one.
It's a pretty good one. It wasn't like an amazing one, but they had a lot of good shit. So, like, I'm giving it a B+ overall.
Outside of EA, I was able to watch through all of them.
Yeah. There was nothing just like that made me want to turn it off and go into another room and do literally anything else. So I'm giving it like a B.
Every conference announced at least one thing that held my interest the entire trailer.
Yeah. For sure.
Like,
so,
at least
video
one
games
thing.
are pretty good.
Yeah, there was 2017 is a good year for video games.
Hell yeah, it is. But I'm glad.
It's got to be a good year for something.
Yeah.
Everything else sucks. At least video games are great.
Yeah.
So
I think that'll do it for us.
Jesus, this was a long podcast.
This was a doozy of a podcast.
And I apologize,
it's E3.
but it's E3, so
E3 is always a big event, so
it's video game Christmas. It's the most amazing religious holiday of the year. So whatever.
So thanks to Broke for Free for background music. I'll link to their work in the description. You can follow us on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can send us an email at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Tumblr that I don't use.
Whoops.
It's
thegorgepodcast@tumblr.com.
We also, our podcasts are now found also at Dashing Nerds, which is dashingnerds.com. They do reviews for games. They did their own E3 stuff. They're really cool. I'm personally friends with one of the head writers of there, so they're awesome and great, and I wrote a few articles for them too, so you can find them in the description as well. Hey, you have a podcast, don't you, Sarah?
Me and Othar are both in another podcast. It's Big Gay Nerds. It's an LGBT RPG live play podcast where once a month, me, Othar, and a bunch of other friends sit around and play various tabletop games together. We cycle through the systems, like I said, once a month. We're just finishing up Monster Hearts, and then we're going to switch over to Blades in the Dark, which is like a radical heist-based, Dishonored, stealthy kind of system. And I've never played it before, and I'm really excited. So you should check us out.
Yeah, it's like a streamlined Shadowrun, so basically whatever you really like about Dishonored, you're gonna love about Blades in the Dark.
I'm really excited for Blades in the Dark. You can find us at SoundCloud, at Big Gay Nerds. We're on Twitter at, I think it's bgncast.twitter. I'm not sure. We're on Tumblr at Big Gay Nerds. Basically, if you Google it, we'll come up. You should check us out. We're having a lot of fun, so yeah.
So, I think that'll do it.
Othar, thank you for joining us today and talking about video games with us for 3 hours.
I love talking with you guys. I like talking with you guys in general. It's always good.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
Every opportunity to do this. So, again, bring me in another time. I'm happy to be here.
We'll keep you in the loop of what's coming up.
That's good.
I know. I got it. I know exactly how to end this.
Okay, go for it.
Hey, fuck the Creation Club.
Yeah, fuck the Creation Club.
Fuck the Creation Club, folks. That's how we'll end this one. Fuck paint mods, Bethesda.
Fuck it.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good one.